I don't think you should be shooting up MSG.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Sunday, November 10th, 2013. Time for your Gitmo Nation Media Assassination Episode 564.
This is No Agenda.
Chasing rabbits, so you don't have to, here at the Travis Heights Hideout in FEMA Region 6, Austin Tejas in the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I don't seem to be able to find a pen that actually works, I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
Wow. Stellar opening, one of our better ones.
So here's the deal. So I go to trade shows constantly. And
you know
what
you don't. You don't go to you don't go to trade shows. You stay home and watch it on the web.
I go to a lot of trade shows. So I go to these trade shows, and it's just they're boring. There's nothing really. Most of these booths are hopeless.
Well, hold on.
I collect all the pens.
Booth babes.
Booth babes are minor. Those days are over.
No.
So I collect pens. So I usually come back with like 40 pens. Within a week or two, none of these pens write anymore.
No.
So you grab a pen, you got a pile of pens. You grab one, you try to write with it, nothing. It doesn't work.
I have to say, my wife is great about. She buys new pens. She goes to the store, evaluates them, and buys good working pens. It is a very minor pleasure.
I get the good working pens too, but they get lost. There's a pen graveyard, and I think it's with the flashlight graveyard.
And I think my socks are there, the right ones that always walk away.
There's socks, flashlights, and pens. And they just disappear, and so I have a bunch of pens, and none of them write. So I grab a pen from let's see, where's this one from? Oh, this is from the Grand Hyatt, Singapore.
This was the most recent trade show you've been to? What was this, 1999?
About 1980. So you'd think that this pen from the Grand Hyatt would work. No.
John, how old is this pen?
Well, okay, here's another pen. Here's an Apple. This, by the way, is the coolest pen I have. It would be great
if it worked.
It writes for like about one part of a line, then it craps out.
But this is an Apple computer pen?
This is an Apple pen that was given. I don't know where this pen came from, but it looks like an Apple Air. I mean, it's really, it's made with that same metal. It's a hefty pen.
Wow, that is a good one.
It's very. I've been wanting to gift it to some Apple nut.
Well, okay.
Anyway, but it doesn't work.
No.
So I'm sitting here trying to find a pen that works.
Well, why don't you?
Because I got the red book in front of me. I found one. This pen came from DPA Microphones, the microphone company, DPA, the Dutch professional audio, Danish professional audio.
We really need to give John decaf before the show. It's just.
And anyone out there, if you're sending checks into the show, send a pen.
So we can endorse them and actually cash
I'll endorse the DPA pen.
For those of you who are new to the No Agenda Show, best podcast in the universe, you might want to vote for us over there at podcastawards.com. But the thing that is kind of cool about this show is neither John nor I have any contact with each other in between shows. We only really speak during the show, not before the show. There's maybe 5 minutes of just like bantering around. We're just getting ready, and then after the show, we basically choose art and make sure we have all the credits right, and that's done. We're done. So I also don't know what John's clips are going to be, and John doesn't know what my clips are going to be. I never listen up front. I do sometimes look at how they're titled, and I have to say I received a lot of email and communications and incoming messages yesterday. People were very, very concerned. They were very worried that because of a previous experience recently on the show, that we might not have your Miss Universe wrap-up report on the show today.
Oh, because I bailed on the other one?
Yeah, you bailed real heavy on the other one. And people are, they kind of count on this. After 6 years, they kind of count on you to wrap it all up for them in a nice little bundle. And I have to say, I believe what I see here is some form of little mini package you have.
I have a mini package.
and it lightens my heart, John. It really does. I did not watch the show, of course, because I was reading legislation.
You missed out. In this case, you missed out.
Let me. Here's all I know.
We'll talk about it. Let's after one of our breaks because I don't think it's that important. But I will say that if you didn't watch this show, you missed out because this
really crap.
This is the Trump one.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I mean, well, all I know is Miss Venezuela won, and I looked at a picture, and I'm like, yes. I don't know what the competition was like, but she's a winner.
When she was at the end, and I'll just tease this because I do have some clips. When she was at the end, her and Miss Spain were facing each other.
Oh, man.
And they looked like twin sisters. That's the level of the competition of the show.
Okay.
The only difference was the Miss Venezuela smile is like $1 million smile, and the Spain smile is 900,000.
That's just a tease, ladies and gentlemen. It's $900,000 versus the $1 million smile. Coming up on today's episode of No Agenda, everybody. Yeah. Woo! Now, let's go back to some news that just came in. In fact, this is completely real news.
And now, back to real news.
And this is a good little primer for everyone, just so you understand the kind of things we look at and the kind of holes we punch in the narrative. So, of course, we all know that George Clooney has this movie coming out, The Monuments Men, and coincidentally, this and it's about it's based on a true story about these guys who go and find art stolen by the Nazis, predominantly Jewish art or Jewish-owned art stolen by the Nazis. And so there's this find all of a sudden, magically, which actually took place in 2011. But it's been kept very quiet on the down low until this movie's about to pop. But now there seems to be some disarray because I'd heard about this thing coming down. The premiere has been pushed back, John, from December to February, which means we have more great art finds coming out. No, I'm on the inside track on this. I am on the inside track. But Clooney was in L.A., and this, by the way, it's his own production. So, he's obviously doing somebody a solid here. And he was at the AFI, the American Film Institute. I think maybe they screened the film. And he just came out and said it. And I love it when Clooney slaps it in our face about this coincidental find.
That's how powerful we are, to be able to get the Germans to break a story about 1,500 pieces of art. We were really excited that they're finding them. They're going to start returning them. I hope that.
Did he just say that's how powerful we are?
Yeah. Well, he was being facetious. It seems.
Yeah, but he is that powerful. He is that powerful. He's like, I called Angela. Hey, tell him to stop on Ixnay and the Einfei. Hold on to it until I get this movie done. It's just like the other guy who was on ABC this morning, or Good Morning America or something. Remember when White House? It was White House. It was White House Down or Olympus Has Fallen or one of those. Yeah. He's like, isn't it crazy how we got the North Koreans to go all nutty just before this movie came out? This is how it works, people. This is how it works. And
it wasn't even, they dredging up old crap and making stuff up about the North Koreans is not that.
Not that hard.
It's not that hard, and it's like it seems to be so transparent to us.
Yeah.
And I think most No Agenda listeners roll their eyes constantly. I think they're going to have great eye. If you move your eyes around in a circle constantly, it helps the eyeball structure.
Yeah, I'll give you an eye roller right now. You have the red book in front of you, presumably, with no pen, so use your fingernail.
I know. I have the pen from the Danish Pro Audio. That pen works.
Okay, so you'll need this. I think, let's see, it's Veterans Day tomorrow. I think probably by Wednesday or Thursday we can have the Typhoon-a-thon going, do you think?
This will be crapped out by then, won't it?
No, but this is the typhoon in the Philippines, which no one paid any attention to.
Vietnam as we speak.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Well, this is the point. There was because I guess there's no white people there, no vacationing white people, so who gives a crap? Let's not cover this. And now it's like, oh, wait, there may be 100,000 people missing. Oh, shit, all right. I think we have something right after the B block. And fit in 30 seconds. But you wait. It's coming. I can feel the musicians ready to unite for the Typhoon-a-thon.
Once they get the global warming angle in there, this thing will go to the A block.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I've been waiting for it.
I have been. The funny thing is, because we get so much of that,
yeah.
I had the sense that I did see that commentary, but in fact, I don't believe I have.
You didn't actually even see it. It's now just implanted in your mind.
Yeah, I just think global warming is causing this horrible typhoon.
Yeah. I just find it interesting how, some events...
Bigger than Sandy, bigger than Katrina.
And you notice how Superstorm Sandy has now turned into Hurricane Sandy in the vocabulary, which it was not. It was never classified, as far as I understand, as a hurricane. And this is the reason why a lot, and I know a lot of people in Jersey, of course, having lived there for a long time, who got totally screwed out of their insurance because it wasn't classified as a hurricane. You just don't get covered under tropical storms, or your coverage is less, or it's like a total scam.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, first of all, how insurance companies are. They don't actually want to give you your money to start with, no matter what's going on, regardless of what's happening.
No, they don't. They don't like the idea.
No, it's contrary to the business model. Anyway, so Typhoonathon. I think they should call it Typhoonathon.
Well, you're assuming that they're going to actually pick it up. It may be too late.
No. They're chomping at the bit. Let's see. We've had all the award show. We're kind of in between award shows right now. It's going to be another couple months. I think we have January. We get the Grammys or something, and the American Music Awards and all that stuff. We have the European Music Awards, I think, tonight, which are in the Netherlands.
Do they even broadcast that over here?
On MTV, yeah, probably. Yeah. Who cares?
There's too many awards. But we encourage people to go to the podcast awards,
yes,
and vote for us.
Please.
We're in 2 categories.
We have never won an award ever.
We should get a Peabody Award for this show.
So, yeah. Have you ever won any award for anything?
Yeah, I've won tons of awards.
Well, like what?
I won from the Business Writers Association. I've won 2 or 3 times for the best column. I've won from the what used to be this Computer Software Publishing Association, whatever it was. I won 2 or 3 times.
Really?
Yeah, I win. I actually occasionally write to win something. I've been a judge on a bunch of these things, so I kind of know the backstory on how to win.
You write to win?
Yeah.
How come we can't podcast to win? What are we doing?
We are
wrong?
podcasting to win.
Well, why don't we win?
Because people hate you. I didn't mean for you to take that seriously.
Well, that came out kind of like, drunk men and fools speaking the truth.
Well, that's because I believe that's what you think. But we haven't won it. There's not, for one thing, how many podcasting awards are there possible to win? One, the mainstream media is not going to start throwing awards at podcasters. It took forever before the Emmys started throwing awards at cable shows. 20, 30 years went by.
Yeah, that's true.
And they finally started to do it. Now they win everything. And podcasts, generally speaking, I think the best, say if you took what you and I would pick as the 10 top podcasts that are real podcasts, not just rehashing a radio show.
Right.
I think those shows are probably better than almost anything on the radio.
Oh, no, without a doubt. It's just,
but they're not going to get awards from anyone.
The awards, it's like, remember the Webbies all of a sudden appeared? The Webbies? Have you ever
the Webbies have been around, yeah.
I know, but have you ever even been invited to the Webbies? I was around I was a Webbie before there were Webbie Awards. I've never even gotten invited. It's like,
I don't know if I've ever been invited. I know the woman who does them. She's a very creative person named Tiffany Schlein. And I used to have her on my show on Tech TV.
Just to get an invite to the Webbies.
And I don't know why, but I think I did get an invite and then I didn't show up, which is like your thesis.
Yeah.
I never show up to anything. And so I never got invited again. And I always thought the Webbies were kind of a goof.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but it turns out it's like pretty real.
Well,
and
now
they got a real budget, and I don't know where they're getting the money from. She's kind of interesting, this Tiffany Schlein girl.
The problem I have with the Webbies is that they're very... And a lot of these awards, I believe, are like this. But the Webbies, to me, they never really pick the best of categories. Then it's not a best-of-breed show. I would have to say that at least the Oscars and the Emmys try to pick the best that they can. Even though there's some independent stuff they kind of overlook, but it's not corrupt. and they're not giving it to their friends, and although I guess they used to. Whatever the case is, there's a lot of awards that we could win from various in fact, like you take a look at the Neil Awards, which is a writing award, and I think they're probably opened up the categories to.
We should get that for the show notes.
It costs $500 to enter.
Oh, okay. I get it. I understand.
So
how it
there's
works.
a lot of scamish awards out there that are essentially just profit centers.
No, I get it.
That cost you usually between $100. I've never seen any $50 ones. It's usually between $100 to $500 and up. I think maybe the Neils are $100. I don't remember. But it's just a waste of money, and so so they're not giving the award out to the best of breed. They're giving it out to the people who self-selected by paying them money to look at their stuff.
Okay, so the 15th
it's totally corrupt.
So the 15th annual Webby Awards received nearly 10,000 entries. So how much is it per entry?
Well, I don't know if the Webbies charge. They should.
Well, if they're doing 10,000 and they're charging 500 an entry, I'm just making it up.
I don't think they're doing that.
Well, they should. That's how our awards will work.
I think they should too. They should charge. Well, if they charged $100, for one thing, if you charge $100, you're not going to get 10,000 entries. You're going to get 1,000, but you make $100,000.
Let me see. Enter now. Let me see on the Webbies. Let me see. Is there a fee for entering? That's crazy if they don't do that. I don't understand. I don't understand how it works. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I never win anything.
Just because you're not ponying up, cheapskate.
Yeah, I don't play the game. But
anyway, the awards that are generally free, that you don't pay to win, usually fold after a number of years because they can't afford to keep it up. They usually can't get enough sponsors, and
right.
I don't know what. It's just problematic.
Hey, so there's we
could win this award if people would go to that website.
Please.
2 categories.
No, it's not how it works, because I've listened to the other entries, and the podcasts are like, hey, vote for us. Remember to vote for us every 5 minutes. Hey, and don't forget to vote for us. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to do that.
We have a lot of talented people. Hello, bot makers.
No one's doing that for us. Looking at the Cold War, that is kind of the warmed over war, I guess, between certainly Russia and the United States, if not more, really between Putin and Obama, has kind of heated up, and it's starting to spill out a little bit. I don't think I've had it in the show notes a couple weeks in a row, but there has been a little back and forth, a little bit of a tit for tat between Gitmo Lowlands and Russia. I don't know if you followed any of that, where the Netherlands arrested one of their diplomats, I think an ambassador, because I think it was hitting his kids or something, and someone complained, and then the cops went over and arrested the guy. Which, of course, you can't. There's all this diplomatic fracas that arose from it, and this went back and forth.
This was in Holland?
Yeah, this went back and forth for a week or two, and I think the same guy's wife got arrested for drunk driving. But when you have diplomatic immunity, there's a lot of things you get out of. And then,
so this was the Russian ambassador?
I don't know if
or a consulate or some guy from Russia.
Yeah, something like that in the Netherlands. And they arrested him, and then it was like this big thing. I mean, we didn't hear about it here, and I followed it for a little bit. And then, a Dutch diplomat in Russia got roughed up or something. But now it's gone full bore. Now, our Prince Pils, the new king of the Netherlands, with his smoking hot Argentinian wife, Queen Maxima, who is she's the embodiment of the reason to have a royal family, were pelted with tomatoes in Moscow. And this clip that I picked up from, I think it's Euronews, kind of has the background to it all, and it's ongoing now with, of course, the Dutch news media have completely indoctrinated the Dutch, thinking that the Russians, are killing gay people at this point. So of course we have to ban.
I'm actually kind of stunned by this story. I didn't even know you can get a tomato in Russia.
Well, a further unsavoury incident putting further pressure on already strained relations between the two countries. Now, the Dutch king and his wife were attending a music concert in Moscow when 2 men threw what appeared to be tomatoes at them. They were unharmed and did carry on with their official engagements. Now, the 2 men who were arrested were members of the National Bolshevik Party, which is actually banned here in Russia. And they could be heard saying as they carried out the assault that the couple had the blood of Alexander Dolmatov on their hands. Now, Dolmatov Borisov was a former member of the party who committed suicide whilst in Dutch custody after being denied political asylum.
Oh, wait, it gets better because we're going to bring in Greenpeace even on this.
In the country. And, as I say, the incident comes with relations already strained between the two countries. The Netherlands are actually suing Russia at the moment for the detention of 30 Greenpeace activists who were on board the Arctic Sunrise vessel. Now, following that incident, a Russian diplomat was beaten up in his home in The Hague and taken to a police station with no official explanation. The Dutch government later apologised for that incident. That was followed by an incident which saw a Dutch diplomat beaten up in his home here in Moscow by masked intruders. The Russian government apologised and said that they would hunt down the perpetrators of that attack. Now, there's no connection between those events and today's incident.
No.
But it's just further proof and further signs, really, that relations between the two countries continue to be strained.
Yeah, so of course this report is very, very skewed because he didn't just get beaten up. This diplomat, he was someone called the cops on him because he was roughing up his children. So they arrested him heavy-handedly and threw him in jail for overnight. That report is a little skewed. But also the Greenpeace thing is interesting because I don't know if you read about that, but there were some Greenpeace guys, and of course this is all about it's not about saving the earth, it's about whose turf it really is. Whose turf is that Atlantic region? Is it the U.S.? Do we own it? Do the Russians have a flag on the bottom? They plant
that's because there's a big oil field.
Yeah, it's all about that. And then Greenpeace comes out like, oh yeah, they want to protect the earth. No, they don't. These guys are paid. And of course, it turns out they're all from the Netherlands, where all of this money, all of the Greenpeace money, as I've seen it, flows through the Netherlands. It's very sketchy. They tried to charter me in my helicopter once. Like, nah, that's all right. I'm not that interested in saving the earth.
And trying to lowball you? What was the deal?
I was not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. And so now Putin, of course, he can't have any of this. He needs to one-up everybody. And we have the Olympic Games. And the fact that this is actually on television and is reported as an actual news event is despicable. And
are you talking about that stupid torch thing?
Yes, it's insulting that this is even presented as news, but just listen how it's done.
But we do not want you to miss history in the making.
History in the making.
History in the making.
A stick in space. With no flame, just a stick.
And that is what we have right now at the International Space Station.
It's really cool. Look at this.
Really
the Olympic torch is on its first spacewalk. Two Russian cosmonauts carried it out of the International Space Station. Now, the torch has been in space before.
See, I like this. The torch has been in space before, but here's Putin like, take that, Obama. I put it on a spacewalk.
96 for the Atlanta Summer Games. But
well, anyway.
I'm sorry, what?
Who cares?
What?
No, I didn't know it was in space before, but B, who cares? And I think it would have been cool if I was one of the cosmonauts. I would have held it outside like they did and then kind of lost it and let it go.
Let it go.
Not outside of the spacecraft. Now, the torch will leave tomorrow with 3 crew members who are returning to Earth. Now, they were, for just a moment ago, holding the torch, waving. Of course, it was not lit because there's no oxygen.
So it's just a stick in space.
To support a flame in space. But then this is going to continue on the relay route leading up to the Winter Games in Sochi, Russia.
And I'm watching this report and I'm thinking to myself, are we in 1970? Do people really still buy into this scam and care? And
you mean the Olympic scam?
Yeah, and not understand. Well,
yeah, they do.
Well, there's the Olympic scam, but then this it's
torch scam.
Yeah, the torch scam.
Torch, the flame that's never gone out supposedly.
Yeah.
Goes out all the time.
Why is this still being pushed on us? I mean,
I don't know. It was about, I don't know how many years ago. It's probably a decade ago or maybe 12 years, some multiple of the regular Olympics. I was in Texas, of all places, in Dallas. And I heard that the torch was coming through Dallas. And so I said, I got to see this. And so I positioned myself along the route of the torch of some idiot jogging along with a car behind them, and it said Olympics on it, and so and a couple of other people jogging with them. And it's like so you go to this street, it's out around Deep Ellum or someplace in Dallas, and there was just a scattered number of people, pretty much 25 people along a 5-block area.
Couple of homeless guys.
Somebody drooling. And it was just a whole mess. It was just it was hardly anybody. And these idiots go running by, and they're gone. And you go, wow, that was a complete waste of my time.
And then on the evening news, it's like, we have history in the making!
Anyway, so that was my... I was thinking, what would it take just to grab the thing, just run out, punch the person with the torch.
Come on, don't you
throw the torch around and stomp on it?
Don't you remember this was like a couple of years ago? Was it the UK, the London Olympics, when some guy just wanted to run alongside and 15 cops jumped on him and jackbooted his head in?
Well, I can assure you that wouldn't have happened in Dallas.
No, well, anyway. So just, this is the problem with your media today. If it's not promoting a Clooney movie, then it's promoting some bogative sports event.
So talking about Clooney, I do have a report from our economic hitman who is in the South Sudan now.
Ah, okay.
And he says he's decided he doesn't like to. I have a long email from him, which I will summarize in an important way and attach it to the next newsletter. So people who don't get the newsletter should definitely subscribe.
Yeah, it's on the
it's
show
quite
notes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He does have a couple of predictions in there about he thinks there's going to be a genocidal incident, big time, in South Sudan.
Oh, okay. Well, he's there.
Yeah, he's there, and he's hanging out with the everyone that's around, and he says he says a very funny letter that everyone should look at. It's very amusing, and he says this is the 115th country.
Wow,
that he's been to, and he's economic development.
Yeah.
He says the Chiners are just taking over still taking over Africa country by country. Yeah. They're all over South Sudan.
Oh, man.
So they're pretty much entrenched already. But he says there's a couple of tribes that are on the Rwanda mess. So
let's just read through the before you continue. Let's just check the news. I'm just going to go to the Google News tab. We have top of the list, South Sudan forces journalists to register. That's always a good indicator of nothing good to come. Let's see. Major infrastructure repairs begin in South Sudan state. No, we can't have that. We should probably wreck that. South Sudan blames the LRA for blaming what's his name?
Clooney?
No, I was going to say Clooney too. No, Coney.
Oh, Coney.
Coney's going to be blamed. Okay, I got it. So South Sudan is blaming the Lord's Resistance Army, which is Coney, for deadly attacks. And this is from 2 days ago. But it's from Voice of America, so it's propaganda. Let's see.
Well, let me bring up the Mail.
Yeah. Some 500 South Sudanese soldiers have been deployed in the region to track down the LRA. Of course, we have hundreds, maybe even thousands. It's a little unclear now. U.S. combat troops advising the Uganda military to track down Joseph Kony, which of course it's bullcrap. It's just being used as a ruse to get something started. And is China now? Are the Chiners running the Sudans? Is that what it is? Is that why we have to have a genocidal event?
No, the genocidal event. Let me see if I can find it in this note. Sudanese People Liberation Army, the SPLA/M's, attempt to disarm rebellions among the Shilluk and the Murli. And it's look, see if you can find this. SHILLUK and Murli, MURLE. They burned scores of villages, raped hundreds of women and girls, and killed an untold number of civilians. Civilians alleged torture, claim fingernails being torn out, burning plastic bags dripped on children.
John, hold on a second. This is an email from the economic hitman.
Yeah.
We're being played a little bit. It has to be. I mean,
it's actually not. It's not too much propaganda in here. It's just telling us some stuff that we don't know. In May, he's only very vaguely aware of the fact that he's an economic hitman. In May 2011, the SPLA allegedly set fire to 7,000 homes. Okay, but of course he could be getting this and just passing it along.
Right.
He says, over the next 5 years, a new mass killing or genocide is most likely to occur in southern Sudan. The Nuer White Army, NUER White Army, the NWA, stated it wished to wipe out the entire Murley tribe.
Wait a minute. NWA, when I was a kid, went from niggers with attitude to New White Army. Is this just insane or what?
It's actually new NUER, but they're not white. They want to wipe out the entire Murley tribe.
Right. I'm just going to say, with
and
respect.
It's NUER, which is...
Right. But with respect, John, this sounds like the story. It sounds like Jay Carney is telling the story as to why we have now, parachuted.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with your theory.
100,000 troops.
It's just that I've never heard of any of this stuff.
No, I know. This is what's great about it. This is nowhere to be found in the news about Sudan. So this is, I'm saying this is actually great, is we're giving you the news that is going to happen. So here's what it's going to be.
This is a predictive article. You have to read this.
Well, here's what it's going to be. Children being burned with drippings from melted plastic bags. That's a headline. I like that one a lot.
That's a good reason to ban plastic bags. I've always known that was a good reason.
No, that's a good reason to send in, drones and troops and all kinds of stuff. That's a great reason. You watch, that will be the meme. Dripping hot plastic on children. For the win.
Yeah, it's pretty gruesome.
Oh, man.
But anyway, so the names to follow are Shiluk, SHILUK, Murley, MURLE, and then the Neuer White Army, NUER. And so this is where the battle is between these groups. Again, you can look them up. They're not in there. You're right.
No, I think this is great news. So I have to send me the
great news.
No, it's
their fingernails out. Fantastic.
So it'll be. I like the fingernails. That's also good. That's always a winner. But that's kind of a classic. Pulling. I think the dripping hot plastic on kids it's a new one. It hasn't really been used that way, and I appreciate the creativity.
Yeah. Well, let me read you the whole sentence. Civilians alleged torture claims and claim fingernails being torn out, burning plastic bags dripped on children to make their parents hand over weapons, and then finally villagers burned alive in their huts.
Well, that's great because we can just do a shot of some burned huts. B-roll.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of that. Anyway, so that's our report. I'll put it together in a package. It's going to be an attachment to the newsletter that goes out on Wednesday.
And how do you bring that around to Clooney? Because I didn't quite get the Clooney connection.
Well, isn't he the South Sudan guy? He's the Sudan guy.
George Clooney. George Clooney. George Clooney is a spy.
I think he has the satellites.
Well, you just asked me the questions to set up that clip?
Yes.
Nice, thanks.
Do you have to give away the secrets, though?
Well, I'm just saying. We're transparent here.
But I think you're right. Clooney, so you would think that Clooney...
Clooney's not going back to this area from the sounds of this report.
No, but he has the satellite, doesn't he? Isn't it the Sudan satellite? Let me see.
No, I think he keeps the satellite over Rwanda or whatever. Not Rwanda, but wherever that...
Well, no, hold on. It's the
other area.
It's the satsentinel.org. And it's all about Sudan. And here it is, October 29th. USA Today op-ed, George Clooney. Oh, he's op-edding now. Sudan could become second Syria. Of course. Killing children. Nuba reports. Launches new film, The Bombing Campaign. Clooney and Daily Beast op-ed, Clooney satellite detects Sudan threat. No, John, I think your economic hitman is on the money. I mean, Clooney's now op-edding about this stuff. And that's probably why he had to postpone the movie. Because,
wow.
Yeah, well, think about
That's a good one. Yeah, probably. It's possible.
It's really
because he's
possible.
got priorities, and the priorities are thrust upon. George.
Yeah, George.
You know that movie?
Hey, George. Yeah,
we got something more important right now. That movie can wait.
Listen, we'll give you a little taster. We'll give you like the art from 2 years ago. And that should keep people talking for a while, but we really need your help now. We really need to get on the Sudan tip, brother.
And we'll pull another heist story just before the movie, so you'll be good to go. So, you're not going to win an Academy Award with this thing anyway, so it doesn't need to come out this year.
Exactly. It's someone else's turn for the awards. Don't worry, we got you covered. Yeah, it makes total sense to me. Why else? He's in the middle of a promo tour. It gets pushed back to February 20th. Oh, and by the way, this op-ed co-written by John Prendergast Prendergast.
Not that guy. That guy's still in play?
His handler. Yeah, he's still there.
Man.
We never hear from the guy unless George is doing something in Sudan.
Yeah, it was a full-time job, that guy.
Now, so anyway, so George
has got to keep the eye on Sudan, and meanwhile, we've got our guys on the ground.
So here's the crux of what his satellites are seeing. George Clooney, not a spy. I just have satellites everywhere. Don't pay any attention to me. I got hot chicks hanging out with me. In April 2012, Ahmed Haroun, who's already been indicted by the International Criminal Court in The Hague for his crimes in Darfur, was caught on videotape urging troops in South Kordofan to hand over the place. Clean, swept, rubbed, crushed. Don't bring them back alive. We have no space for them. Well, there you go.
Huh.
But of course, South Sudan is essentially where just huge amounts of oil are. And that's what the fight has always been. Is just about the resources.
Well, if we could leave a lot of rubble, it makes it a lot easier for us.
It really does. I mean, because the
Chiners aren't doing that. They're building roads, and they don't like the rubble thing, even though we've rousted them from a number of places, including Libya, where they were building a city. We've talked about that on the show before.
Yeah.
They had an entire city, one of their ghost-sized cities, they were going to build in Libya for their people, and then the thing's just been abandoned.
Interesting. Well, we need. It would be kind of cool if we could have a bad guy, because we seem to do better in the press if we can say this is the bad guy who's the dictator of South Sudan or something.
Well, I like the Neuer White Army because it sounds like a bunch of white guys.
Nazis. Yeah, it sounds like Nazis.
Yeah, it sounds like a Nazi operation. Then we can hate that.
Let's see, Neuer, N-E-U-R or N-U-E-R?
No, N-U-E-R.
Neuer Army.
White Army.
Neuer White Army. That's kind of, Neuer White Army. They have a wiki entry.
Of course.
Semi-official name for a militant organization formed by the Neuer people of Central and Eastern Greater Upper Nile in modern-day South Sudan, back from the 1990s, 1991. Here it is, the SPLMA. But they don't have a guy. Yeah, I agree with you. But you see, it's like for Coney, everyone was all freaking out. It was great, but then it just became the Lord's Resistance Army. It's like, send a couple hundred guys. But when you have a Gaddafi or...
Yeah, no, you're right. We do much better with a...
with a dude.
With a guy who's a figurehead.
Exactly. Oh, well. And anything else from our economic hitman?
No, he says that there's a lot of bars. He says the city is supposed to... He's in the city that's the capital. The name is... let's see, I guess Jonglai, or what's the name of the capital? That's what the thing is. Let's see, South Sudan. It's a pretty long note, by the way. He was also Juba. Sorry. Juba. He's in Juba. And he says it's a hellhole, essentially.
Yeah. Wow.
He says Juba is always hot, sitting just 4 degrees north of the equator. My arrival corresponds with the end of the rainy season and the beginning of the hottest part of the year. The heat is what I would call relentlessly hot. People live indoors where the air conditioners are continuously trying to fight back the ever-encroaching heat. Step outside, and it's an instant dry heat that hits you in the face. Today, it was 95 degrees. Next month, we'll average over 100 degrees and reach 110.
Oh, it's like Texas. That's not too bad.
Yeah, it doesn't sound much different than Texas.
It doesn't sound that bad. Just, the whole...
Although this is all year round.
The whole fingernail pulling is a little different.
Yeah, but, if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, you might have that same problem.
I'm not even going to give you that one.
Anyway.
All right. Okay. So all right. So there you go. We've already learned something very important. We've deconstructed live before your eyes why Clooney's movie has been delayed.
That was good. I give you a 10 for that.
And it will involve, children being tortured with melted plastic so their parents give up the weapons.
Right.
Please.
That has to be the meme that will come across because that's a good one.
Yeah. Well. Okay. Well,
all right.
I had something. Just if we can stay in let's just stay in a region east of Europe. Turkey is also becoming a real problem, and this kind of involves the Chiners as well. We know that, and I think that's why this report came out. Turkey has decided to go with the Chinese missile installations, despite us cutting our offer. I think we cut our offer from $5 billion to $4 billion. And the Chinese undercut our offer and came in with a $3 billion bid.
That's what they do.
Yeah. So
they'll take a beating on
They don't care. They don't care. They're losing money.
Best price.
Yeah. And the Turks went, okay, so now, of course, we have to discredit Turkey, so there's no better way.
Mixed student housing in Turkey could be a thing of the past if Prime Minister Erdogan gets his way. He said he wants to ban male and female students from living together both on and off campus, and that the government receives intelligence about what goes on inside co-ed housing. His comments didn't go down well with students.
No, not at all. So it's like
Well, he's a Islamist Sharia law oriented guy.
But we know people who live in Istanbul, and in fact we have a lot of listeners who are in Istanbul teaching at universities, and they email me all the time like, this place is this is a ticking time bomb, because you literally have two reasonably developed cultures living in the same place. And except the guy who's running the show is on the kind of the culture from the last couple of thousand years. And it's making people very nervous. But I think this is only really intended just to discredit Turkey and everything they do now, because you don't turn down our missiles.
I first heard about Turkey being a ticking time bomb before this guy was even elected 10, 20 years ago. It's always been a ticking time bomb. I don't know how long it's going to continue to be one. Maybe it'll go off one of these days, but so far it hasn't.
Right. Well, they are the nexus of all things gas going into Europe, so it's kind of important that we don't blow everything up, or Europe could get really cold this winter. So that's all the pipelines run through Turkey, or almost all of them.
Yeah,
all the Russian
we'll
stuff.
see what happens. That's going to be fun to watch Turkey. It probably will there'll be some action going on. So I got a couple of clips for you.
Okay.
This is an interesting story. Euthanasia. Do you know about the Belgian thing going on?
Well, they
got euthanasia is legal in Belgium.
Yeah, it's legal in a number of countries, including the Netherlands.
But in Belgium they decided that if you're a kid, you can play the euthanasia.
Really?
Belgium is debating a controversial new bill that could extend its law on euthanasia to terminally ill people aged under 18. It would become the only country in the world to grant children the right to choose to die. The Belgian parliament is discussing the proposal put forward by the ruling Socialist Party. Advocates argue that euthanasia for minors with the consent of their parents should be an option in exceptional cases. And several pediatricians say a legal framework for it is necessary. When the situation occurs, we have to perform euthanasia in secret. We can't write down what really happened. It can't be monitored. As doctors, we want to give the best cure possible. A group of pediatricians published an open letter in Belgian newspapers this week asking lawmakers to support the bill, but many MPs remain bitterly opposed.
What do you make of this?
Well, for one thing, the doctor says they want to make sure that they can give the best cure possible, which I guess is like, what does that mean? Does it mean you can shoot somebody? I don't know. It just seems to me to be opening the door to to exterminate a lot of people and claim that they were, all decided they wanted to die.
Well, I think that I'm a little more cynical even than that.
How can you be more cynical than that?
Well, I grew up in the Netherlands, where euthanasia was always an option, and to this day, although it's gotten tougher, has always been an option, and actually culturally accepted as a very natural way to go, to say, okay, I'm done, let me go. But some things have changed, and was this a Euronews report? It sounded like one.
I think this is France 24.
France 24. So there's some propaganda going around, which it coincides with the healthcare .gov, the Obamacare. And so we've had these stories, which I've done nothing with, because I can just smell the propaganda, about, was it an Amish guy in Pennsylvania? He goes to the hospital, and the doctor says, well, looks like, you have leukemia. We can start you right away, or you'll die in a couple hours or a couple days. And he's like, well, because we don't have health insurance, our community always pays for that. I'd rather die. So there's a lot of this I'd rather die stuff going on. I'm skeptical. I think this is to reintroduce the death panel idea, and particularly if you have report, because even in Belgium, I know how it's not all that simple. We get the reports here like, oh, you can just kill your kid in Belgium. It just is not that simple. I've been in these situations. In fact, personally, it just doesn't happen that way. It's not, you can have it written down in your will and everything, and the doctor still doesn't just go, oh, okay, no problem. No, it doesn't work that way. So I'm thinking this is more, and this is why I'm skeptical. I'm thinking it's more propaganda than anything, and it's just to bring the topic to the table. And probably next we'll be hearing about death panels again. I'm also getting emails about death panels.
The death panel.
Yeah. So
you have to give Sarah Palin a lot of credit for coining the term, because if she hadn't said it, I don't know that it would ever cropped up.
Well, the question is if she came up with it herself, of course. Or if that was just in the meeting.
Probably not.
In the meeting.
It sounds like a guy who knows what he's doing, or some woman that's great at PR.
I have something a little more disgusting about healthcare. A couple of things, actually. Vivek Kundra, who, of course, Vivek Kundra, who brought us absolutely nothing as the chief technology officer for the United States, except some vague concepts of skip logic. And he takes a lot of pride in opening up the data so we could have just so much government data is available for all these fantastic apps to be built. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen any fantastic apps built on government data. And, of course, now he's weighing in now that he is the EVP at Salesforce.com. He is shameless, this guy. The Indian cabal is shameless to bring back the only thing he knows to talk about is legacy systems, cloud, and where he works.
Healthcare.gov, unfortunately, is a huge problem, because what's happened here is it's actually preventing millions of people from getting access to affordable healthcare.
Let me just stop you there, Vivek. Healthcare insurance, not affordable healthcare.
And a core issue there is the same set of problems we've seen in the past, which is that it's the procurement process. It's embracing 1960s era technology.
You're in Silicon.
I think what he means is that they had to integrate with legacy systems, which he says is embracing 1960s technology. Yeah, I guess we should have overhauled everything, Vivek.
Valley. They could have easily at the beginning kind of tried to come to Silicon Valley. You would assume. What's the downside when you have something like the initiative that it just seems so fragmented?
Well, at the White House level, the president was very clear from day number one, where he issued executive orders and actually pushed very hard to make sure that new technology and best practices from the private sector were being embraced. At the agency level, unfortunately, this is a case where decisions were made to actually implement and custom build everything rather than saying, who does this best on the planet?
Let me think. Who does this best, Vivek?
Whether it's companies like Amazon or Salesforce.com.
Oh, man.
Douchebag. He is a douchebag. Was that off Bloomberg?
No, I think this was CNN, actually. Yeah, CNN Money.
Or Google that can scale with billions of users. And unfortunately, what the status quo favors is people who have a PhD in how the procurement process works.
Which is what he has. That's all he was ever good at. He's a PhD in procurement. But now listen to this, and technologists will love this next bit, this drivel that he's about to engage in.
Rather than innovation.
What kind of technology could they be using that would be a little more efficient?
My understanding is that they had over 800 servers just for authentication purposes. And you could actually have deployed that in a cloud solution.
Let me ask you, Vivek, do you think those 800 servers that there were just boxes of servers coming in to Sebelius's office? Or was it a cloud-like solution, you dick? I heard there were 800 servers, and they brought them and they plugged them out. Man, That was a huge Ethernet connector we had. 800 servers. That was just crazy. We could have had a cloud-like solution.
Without buying a single server.
Oh, yeah. That guy, I gotta hit him again.
Douchebag.
Dick.
Yeah.
And he now joined the ABC. The big. He was just welcomed in with big fanfare. American Business. What is it called? The big consultancy. The big healthcare consultancy?
Yeah, I don't know their name.
Yeah, you do, but we both forgot.
No, he's great.
No, he's a horrible man, and
he comes in with apparently knows nothing, but he's a great bluffer.
That's the problem. He knows nothing. You and I could go in blindfolded and do better. Chris Christie, I thought. Now he is the.
He's my pick to click.
Okay. He's your pick to click. Well, he is the governor of New Jersey, and a lot of New Jerseyans I know don't like him. I have to say I kind of think he's cool in a Jersey guy type way.
Yeah, but you're not in Jersey.
No, but I understand
and
Jersey
how many
guys
can't like him. He keeps getting reelected.
Well, obviously, but he said something really good. Actually, a couple things in this little statement with Jake Tapper. If you have a chance, go to the show notes after the show, 564.nashownotes.com. Under the show notes tab, under video, you can find the actual video. I think it's a YouTube clip. This is Jake Tapper. And you know how... so he's doing this interview with Christie, and they're supposed to be ISO'd on just Christie, but for some reason, he thinks he's just doing an interview with... Well, he'll do the pick up the naughties later on, you know? It's like where they insert him going, oh, yes, okay, right, oh, yes. Like it's a real interview, but they don't. It's just all one shot of him and Christie, and it's like he has Tourette's. He's like, he's not saying anything, but he's just like egging Christie on to keep talking, but his head's bobbing up and down like, and it's really distracting. So I think Jake Tapper, he's a robot. He's an android of sorts.
Maybe he's got Tourette's.
No. I would know because I'm a sufferer. But it's weird.
Here's what my suggestion would be to him. Don't be so cute. And when you make a mistake, admit it. Now listen, if it was a mistake in 2009, if he was mistaken in 2009, 2010 on his understanding of how the law would operate, then just admit it to people. So you know what? I said it. I was wrong. I'm sorry. And we're going to try to fix this and make it better. I think people would give any leader in that circumstance a lot of credit for just, owning up to it. Instead of now trying to, don't lawyer it. People don't like lawyers. I'm a lawyer. They don't like them, and they don't lawyer it. And when I saw that this morning, for the first time, and I thought, he's lawyering it. That's Barack Obama, the lawyer.
I think that's a very good assessment. Don't be a lawyer, man. People don't like lawyers.
Yeah, I know. He says something like, I stand by what I said. I'm sorry. It was just the whole thing was strange.
Well, it's actually worse than that because I went back and there was this, and I think the part of this video, but the wrong part has been shown on television where, is it Cantor? Is it Eric Cantor or, I don't know. At some point on C-SPAN, there was this debate between a Republican and the president, and the president, and essentially what is laid out before the president is, well, it looks like there's a number of people whose plans will be dropped because they'll have to change in order to adhere to the rules. And the president's going, well, this is only a small percentage, whatever. So that's what everyone's showing as a part of, as the backdrop to the big lie. But I actually found a piece a little bit earlier on that is very surprising where the president actually goes one step further in a huge lie, saying that the rules and regulations of the Affordable Care Act will not apply to existing plans, but only to to new plans on the exchanges. And I think he realized, if you listen to this, that's
an interesting catch.
Yeah. So he catches himself.
Now, this is something the news media should have picked up.
Oh, please. That's why people tune into the non-award-winning best podcast in the universe.
This was not having won it. Did you, when you were a little kid, get some sort of little recognition award?
No. Yeah, because I was like it was a field day, and of course I was not athletic at all. And we were doing, and I could run pretty fast because, let's face it, people were always chasing me to beat me up. So I could run pretty fast. And so it was either a relay race or something. And at the start, someone stood on my shoe. And, so I took off, and, but my shoe stayed behind. And so it was like, and I couldn't run with just one shoe. So it was sad, but I still got my shoe and I ran and I finished, last. And then they gave me an appreciation prize, and that was it. But and I felt it was nice to get, you got screwed, even though I had no chance of winning ever. But yeah, that was my prize. So yes, you called me properly. Doesn't matter.
All right, I'm sorry I brought that sad story up. Let's get back to Brock.
So here is and you'll hear him stumble and go, and all of a sudden call out. I think he calls out the cantor who didn't even ask the question, just to to get away from it, because he's like, oh crap, I just screwed this up. This is the real lie.
Mr. President, if I could, it's the cost issue, but it's being driven by the fact that you've got in the bill, which I assume that your proposal supports, that the Secretary define what a health benefit package should be.
Only in the exchange. If only as part of the pool, the people who don't have health insurance would buy into. If you were working at a big company that already has a big pool, then but you know what? I want to make sure, because Eric, we're going to end up in a back and forth that cuts everybody else out.
And he goes on, let's get someone else talking.
He really stutters like a maniac when he's
when he's lying,
trying to make up a story.
I mean, wow. He says, no, only in exchange if you're in a big company. And then he's thinking, oh crap, this is so not true. I got to stop. This is Joe. Let's bring someone else in here. I don't want just people talking about us. Liar. What else is new? We were talking about the ENDA. This is the you can't get fired if you're gay, or you can't get hired, or you cannot not get hired for being gay.
Yeah, you've been talking about this.
Yes.
Not me.
Well, no, I brought it up, and of course it passed the House. And I got a lot of different thoughts on it. We have lawyers, tons of lawyers, who all have thoughts on this, and a lot of them say, hey, it's working great in this state. Whatever, that's fine. I'm just telling you whether it's great or not, what it's going to be used for. But someone wrote me the line, which I thought was interesting. Here's how you use this to your advantage. If you're at your company today, when you're hearing this. Of course, it's Sunday, but let's say tomorrow you go into the office, go to your boss, and make sure that there's a couple people around, and say, "Hey, I'm gay," so that you can never be fired. I think there's something to this.
You might be onto something.
Or you could just go, "Hey, I'm gay, and I know you may not like it." That's even better if you do that.
Yeah, you may not like it.
But I'm proud of who I am. And you're set for life. Especially if you maybe do it during a meeting, a teleconference with the London office or whatever. And I just have to say something. I'm gay, and I felt really uncomfortable around insert boss name here. But I'm sure you're okay with me coming out now. And everyone will, oh, that's so lovely. And you're set for life. Promotion, even. I think it's possible. I think it's a strategy.
Well, especially if you're a crappy, or you're afraid, or there's stack rankings going on. This will go right in the. By the way,
yeah, Yahoo.
This ENDA and stacked ranking are not compatible.
Hand in hand, baby. If you're at Yahoo right now, and of course, John, you've been talking about this for months. How Yahoo has been performing stack ranking, and you may want to just re-explain it in a second, just briefly. But I'm reading, now people are really upset because, I think 600 people have been fired in the past month or two, and no one likes this system, and it's all because Marissa Mayer says so. And by the way, I think she's totally right. She has to trim down the organization one way or the other. But this is the way to secure your spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the only reason that people would, because especially now, and you got to do this early, and I think you're onto a great scheme. Because listen to this logic.
Great scheme.
It's a great scheme. You got to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Out there, people.
Yeah.
So here's the way it goes. The stack ranking went through, and you were fine. You got through it. You're done. You did well. Then you come out as gay.
Yeah.
And now if the stacked ranking turns against you in the future, you can say, you can make the association, look, I was fine here.
Fine until I came out. Oh,
and then I was, now because I'm gay, but all the numbers changed against me. I'm suing. Don't you think that's a perfect opportunity?
Yes, and the Curry Dvorak Legal Consulting Group is happy to help you with your suit. Give us a call at 1-800-GAYS-GET-RICH. Wow. Yeah, we are onto something. Well, that's great. Well, in the morning to you, John C. Dvorak.
Well, in the morning to you, Adam Curry. In the morning to all the ships at sea, boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, and all the dames and knights out there.
That's right. Also, a big in the morning to all the vacuous ciphers, and, of course, our human resources in the chat room, noagendastream.com, noagendachat.net. Good to have y'all here. And our artists, obviously. James V came in for 563 with a nice piece of art, and we're looking for... It was slim pickings on Thursday, so we're hoping...
Yeah, it was a bad...
Something happened. I don't know.
Donations were down, and the art was down.
Everything was down. Was there something wrong with the generator, maybe? Or did more art come in after the fact? I'll take a look right now.
I don't think so.
It's just two. We had two
The
pieces.
artists are fickle. They're listening to the show. I think a lot of them, they'll listen to the show. The show gets off to a slow start, and they say, this show sucks. And they don't listen.
That's funny. That's what my wife does, too.
And so then as the show picks up steam, a lot of times it'll pick up steam and finish big.
Big.
We usually have a big finish on this show.
With the clip blitz.
And if people are on the show stream at the end, they
win.
Art. Then now they've only got a few minutes to produce it.
Yeah, exactly.
So the art opportunities are in the guts of the show in the middle because they can't. We close the art probably about 15 minutes after the show's over.
Yeah, if that, maybe even quicker.
So they usually get it in, during the show, not at the end.
Well, anyways, the way it works here, we've explained part of how we come to each program, prepared by ourselves, but not together, to keep everything fresh, not to be like every single other phony show out there where they have a prep and they've rehearsed and a dress rehearsal and everything. No. Even The Voice does a dress rehearsal. But we also don't take advertisement.
Does dress rehearsal?
Yeah. Yeah, they have a full-on dress rehearsal.
They spin around on the show.
The whole thing.
And, oh, my God, you're a short white woman.
No, this is...
I thought you were a black woman.
No, not during the blind auditions. They do it during the lives. The lives, as they call them. You have the live show, but they call them the lives. I love The Voice. It's a great show.
I think the show stinks.
I think it's fantastic entertainment.
It's got these phony feuds. It's got everything wrong with it that these shows have.
No, but that's not the point. It's
reality TV.
No, but that's why you DVR it to shuttle through all that bull crap. You just want to see the performances.
Watch the World Wrestling Association.
No, they don't sing.
Same kind of phony baloney.
No, that's not true. No, the artistry, the talent is good.
Yeah. Oh, geez. People in the United States, there's a lot of singers. Yeah. Okay. Great.
Hey.
You could go down to Oakland, to any little club, and there's singers that'll knock your socks off.
Yes, that's where a lot of them are from. That's where a lot of them are from. That's what I like about it.
I don't know.
I've seen guys on The Voice who
exploited by one of these TV shows. They work for free, essentially.
Well, I don't care.
Out, and then they're shoved.
Hey, John. Cool down for a second. There is no music business anymore. There's no money to be made in the music business unless you're doing Puff Daddy. There's no money. This is something. No, I'm all for this. This is the only place left where you can actually, make a couple bucks, have a little bit of a career. Maybe you get picked up for the, like a Kelly Clarkson. You go all the way, and then you can be a Hall of Famer or whatever. No, this is the only way. This is what it is. Everybody else, poverty. I support the guy on the street too. I always give a musician money.
No, you give everybody money. That's only.
No, that's not true.
You stopped?
There's one category I no longer give to, and that is the category. So here in Austin, we have no beggars on the streets. We have musicians, and they're playing, and my standard $5. If you're playing on the street, $5, and if you have a CD for $10, I'll buy that. You had got to be really bad for me not to want to give you anything. But we have this thing near the highway, the I-35, and other like Mopac and Loop 1, just all kind of our highways, where you are at the stoplight, before you get onto the highway, and then you got the guys with the signs. And this I'm not giving to them anymore.
Why not anymore?
Because I was at first. I kind of felt bad, but now I'm like, screw this. Everyone's got it. Everyone's working. Everyone's trying to do something. These are not like, people who are crippled. They hold up, and then it's like, oh, it's so cute. I'm not going to lie. I want a beer. Fuck off. You annoy me.
I'm not going to lie. I want a beer.
Yeah. You've seen that sign? I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're walking back and forth, you're smoking a cigarette, you're really annoying me.
Well, it's interesting how things change.
Well, no, I feel that everyone do anything. You must have some talent other than holding up a sign.
So you want dance, monkey, dance?
Yes. If you dance for me, monkey boy, I shall give you a pittance. Yeah. Okay. Well.
Here's some seed. All right. Well, let's get to. We have some executive producers to thank.
Yeah, that was my point.
No, it wasn't.
My point was we dance for our dinner. We work hard, and we are supported only by the consumers of this program, who have not been turned into the product to be sold and sliced and diced.
Sliced and diced.
That's right. We take it from our producers, and we thank our executive and associate executive producers up top at the beginning, kind of.
We have a couple. There's some strange things that always happen. It's all part of the random number theory.
Yeah.
And we have a couple of incidents today, but not with this donation from Dame Viscountess Dame Astrid Klein in Tokyo.
Yeah, Viscountess of Tokyo.
Who came in with $777.77 with a note.
Whoa.
No more sack of sixes, so I looked up the meaning of 777, and besides being an aircraft and being lucky, here's another answer. According to the numerology, the number 777 means that a lesson has been learnt.
Uh-huh.
It is a sign of achievement and acknowledgement that your spirit guides, could this be you, want you to learn in life. That would be us. We try to teach people that the flow of information produced commercially is bogus.
We're trying to help you keep your job.
And we have tips. We have tips on how to keep your job. And the gay tip, although we'll get some notes from our gay listeners who go, you're just making it worse.
No. Our gay listeners love this. They're like, hell yeah.
Well, maybe. It could be. But this definitely would work, especially with this, especially if you're Yahoo people. And show some guts to do this.
Come on, yeah, and take pictures.
I didn't know you were gay. Well, I am. Just like that. I didn't know you were gay. Yeah, well, too bad. Yeah, I am gay.
I want to take a shower.
Anyway, right. She says the sign of achievement and acknowledgement that your spirit guides, that would be us, want you to learn in life. Religiously, the number represents celestial perfection as manifested in the three planes of existence. Apparently, she's not working on a building at the moment. She's an architect for those who don't know.
Yeah.
And a great one. And so, but apparently she's now doing research into this. Three planes of existence, the body, the soul, and the spirit.
Wow.
So yes, I will devoutly continue to listen to the best podcast in the universe and relax in the knowledge.
And may I point out that this is also a sack of sixes with a helping of making it rain on top.
Essentially sixes with rain, yeah. Rainy sixes, but 7-7, and we're starting our 7th year of the show, so this is a good sign because we got
very good.
She points it out. She did the research, and so we now know that 7-7-7-7, a lot of sevens is a good thing. So we're going to change.
So
we're going to push the sevens.
Yeah, so we can do $77.77 is a lesson learned.
Yeah.
Doesn't flow quite well
and
yet.
For all the people who, because of this show today, save their jobs, we expect compensation.
Yes.
So she's going to be the associate, the sole executive producer, and we have 6 associate executive producers. And curiously, 2 people, John Dietrich and Paul Simon, both came in for some unknown reason with $299.99.
Wow.
Which is again random. Josh is in Kirkland and Paul is in parts unknown. Josh writes, it's been forever since I supported the show. I'm sorry about that. I cannot thank you enough for the time you both invest in the show. May there be many more to come. John, thanks for the tip for Nash's Organic Produce. I stopped there on my way to Port Angeles and was absolutely enjoyed the detour. Shout out to Austin's Minor Mishap Marching Band and my brother Matt, who turns 24 today. We need to put a birthday thing for him. Put it on the list.
Okay, hold on a second. It's Matt, brother, so it's...
Matt Dietrich.
Matt Dietrich? Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
34th birthday?
Yeah.
Okay.
24. Sorry, 24.
Okay.
I would enjoy a 9999 jingle and a No Agenda in the Morning theme song. I think Paul produced this song back in 2010.
Okay, I think I have.
If you have it.
Yeah.
If you wake up with the blues,
is this one it?
Trying to fill your
Maybe
day
not.
with news.
No, it's not.
There's one thing you must remember: no agenda in the morning.
For a healthy, balanced news diet, try NoAgendaShow.com.
That's not it. That's not the one. Man, what was he talking about? The No Agenda Mornings. I don't know which one that is, John.
You sure it's not that one? Because it sounds like No Agenda.
No, I think that's a Sir Jeff thing right there.
Okay. Well, Josh will try to remind us somehow with an email. Paul Simon of Simon and Garfunkel writes, ITM, BJ and the Bear. Since you shouted out Mayor Farley of Toronto you had a shout out for Mayor Farley of Toronto last week. I'm making my move from Sir to Baronet, although I remain ringless somehow.
Oh. Well, noagendanation.com/rings should
just fill out the form, and Eric will send you a ring.
Should clear that right up.
Yeah, he's good at it. When he sees it, he sends it out. He's not. Mimi takes her time.
He's good at it. Damn it!
Here's the Sir Jeff Smith outro for one of these days, and he's got a link.
Hold on a second. No, I haven't seen this. Let's see what this is. Sir Jeff thing for one of these days, and I have the link. Oh, right. Oh, this is what we're talking about, John. Remember this? This is beautiful.
Okay, so Paul.
Get up in the morning, gonna hit the ground running.
Right.
It's a media assassination.
You want to hear it for a sec?
Sure, play
Pick up the pieces and tear them apart and send it out to every nation. Don't want to sit back, don't want to shut up and let the puppets call the show.
I'd forgotten about this.
No more lame stream pumping out the new meme. Tell me where I should go. It's a little bit crackpot, tiny bit buzzkill, but it hits you right in the mouth. It's time to do it now in the morning. I wanna do it now in the morning.
A little harmony.
There's nothing better when it's in the morning.
Very little.
In the morning, yeah.
Aw, that's so beautiful. I'll put that in the show notes, a link to the whole song. I'd forgotten about
Paul
that.
and Josh must somehow that's why the $299.99. It's not a coincidence. Okay,
that makes total sense that they teamed. Thank you very much, guys. This is great.
You forgot all about it.
So did you, apparently.
No, I remembered it.
Right.
In the morning, $222.22 from Middleville, Michigan. Credit me as in the morning. Adam told me, fuck off then, so I felt compelled to contribute.
What?
That's our listeners.
What?
That's a classic listener.
I need a de-douching Karma and a whoop 'em Ron and tell her Sarah D's not a douche.
Sarah D's not a douche.
All right, and we need a whoop 'em and a de-douching. Okay.
You've been de-douched. You've got karma.
Get out there, whooping with the Constitution. Down.
All right.
John Helmer in Shawnee, Kansas, $200. I was called out as a douchebag by Grant Sinor on show 550 for listening to No Agenda and not contributing. However, Grant has never added his No Agenda executive producer status to his LinkedIn profile. Is he ashamed?
Epic fail.
To make things right, I'm donating to become an associate executive producer and will add this to my LinkedIn profile. I would like a de-douching, a mac and cheese, the one with John saying you slaves can get used to mac and cheese, and a karma to make my annual sales goal.
Okay.
You've been de-douched.
You slaves can get used to mac and cheese, cheap macaroni and cheap cheddar melted together.
Mac and cheese.
You've got karma.
There you go. Sales karma goal.
Sir Rocket Man Ed Le Boutillier. In Hesperia, California. Sir Rocket Man, the Stealth Knight here. My wife and I went to the Dundee Hills area last year, and we really loved it there. You guys are great. Keep up the good work, and together we'll strike down evil with the mighty sword of teamwork and the hammer of not bickering. How about the not bickering part?
Yeah.
Michael Levin in Brooklyn, New York, 200, and he says, in the morning, first of all, thank you for the analysis that became simply outstanding lately. Secondly, the donation completes my knighthood for a cool amount of 11. Thirdly, could I request, we do have a knight. I knew there was one on here. I knew he was buried. Hold
on. So Michael, I get it. Michael Levin is knighted today. Okay.
And then he wants a happy sales karma for his wife.
Oh, do we have anything for sales specifically? Yes, we do.
We do?
Yeah, there we go. It's a little bit of money.
You've got karma.
A little bit. A droplet in the bucket.
And that will conclude our executive and associate executive producer segment, reminding people to go to Dvorak.org/NA. Make sure to sign up for the newsletter, by the way, if you can. You can find that sign up links.
It's on the show notes, yeah.
And also channeldvorak.com/NA, noagendanation.com, and noagendashow.com, and you will find a button there you can push.
There's also two quick PR mentions. One is we now have a website, 6weekcycle.com. Did you see this?
No.
Yeah, let me just check it for a second. 6 Week Cycle, 6 with a numeral 6. 6weekcycle.com. And it has a little calendar there. What is the cycle? Let's see if it's so it's kind of explains what's going on with the 6 week cycle, and it has the historical cycle occurrences, and it has the December 2013.
Good. I can send me an email because I have written down all of the cycle things since it began.
Oh, okay. So are these incorrect? I think.
Well, there's probably a couple missing, but it started the way I see it. I have to get the document. It's on the other computer.
It's on the other thumb drive.
I don't think there was the spa shootings that count.
No.
There was a number of things that I tried to track it back all the way to the guy flying his airplane into the IRS building.
Oh, yes. In Austin, by the way.
Yeah. But I actually think it actually began in 2012 at some specific event, and that's when the cycle actually began in earnest.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the 2013 period, it's actually a solid cycle until the July incident, which should have been, I believe, on July 1st.
But we really didn't hear about it until a year and a half ago. That's about the 6 week cycle. We got our insider told us.
Yeah, and then we started following
summer.
it. And so in July, there was no real incident, but what it was the entire month of July had a reset to August 1st because all throughout July, it was the month of the murders and killings in Chicago.
Yep.
Every couple days it was all news. All the news, it essentially was a giant 1 month day.
It was very annoying to keep track of.
And so then it reset in August, and then then it reset, and we had it right on the money every 6 weeks. So anyway, so it's the 1st of August and the 15th.
All right, so he'll send you a note, and I'll forward you his note so I can connect you guys. Then there's also a brand new and No Agenda producers, listeners, family members will want to snatch these up as quickly as possible before they are all gone. And I'd hate for them to land in the hands of non-No Agenda listeners. And we do receive a portion of the proceeds from the Free Hollow Books website, freehollowbooks.com. Sir Jimmy there, Sir James, Sir Jim, I think it is. I think it's Jim. Is it Jim? It's Jim.
So he had a great one recently.
Well, this is the one I'm talking about. He has a hollow book of Dvorak's Guide to PC Telecommunications, and it's actually, he has one that is fitted perfectly for a Glock.
Right.
Now, John C. Dvorak, so this is the description. We took this useless book and made it useful again. It was found in a thrift store in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Unfortunately, the giant 5 1/4 inch floppy disks were missing. We have no doubt they are resting comfortably in the Smithsonian. Tell us in the PayPal note. So he's got a little thing there, and that's. I think you should go in and pick it up now. He's got a couple other of these Free Hollow books, and I have several of them, and I really enjoy. The Free Hollow book is just something fun to have. Yes, when you're looking like, oh, I want to put this someplace where I remember where it is. Free Hollow book. That's where it goes.
Yeah, no, it's a great thing because you just have to remember. When you get the Free Hollow book, you'll always remember it as a title that you own, even though it's a book you never looked at.
That's true.
And then you put stuff in it, and you put it in the bookshelf, and it looks like a book that no one will ever look at because it's some dog, like the old Telecom book. I mean, this thing's old; it's out of date, but it's thick. It's like a 1,200-page book.
Yeah. Your picture on this is the one, by the way, that says right on the cover, "Instant bestseller."
It was.
Your marketing is just
a lot of pre-sales.
Phenomenal. I love it. I love it, my friend.
Dvorak.org/NA.
That's right. Support us for the Thursday show. And until then, please always continue to propagate the formula.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Order. Shut up, slave.
Shut up, slave.
So I'd like to get the Miss Universe thing out of the way.
Really?
You want to put it off till later?
Well, I was going to just say one thing to kind of lead you into it because I thought I would do a little rainbow and unicorns.
Okay.
I've been looking through the news for these past couple days, as we do. But really, going, and of course, I completely ignored Miss Universe because I did not want to be distracted. And I'm seeing, well, it could go one of two ways, and of course, I know which one you'll choose, but I'm seeing more and more bankers. Now, no one's going to jail, of course, but we have more banks being pulled into all kinds of discredit. We have big pharma, like Johnson & Johnson, being fined and getting into trouble.
Billions.
Yeah, $2-3 billion. We have corrupt the admirals in the Navy who are letting themselves be bought off with hookers and Lady Gaga tickets. It's humiliating enough to get busted, but to get busted for Lady Gaga tickets is like someone stomping on you.
Yeah, and heaven forbid that anyone in the Navy partake in hookers.
Yeah, but I had this feeling like, is it possible? There's one of two things is possible. One, there is a fraction or a faction inside the U.S. government that is getting it together and is starting to make things change, or there's a faction inside the government who is weeding out the competition. I'm afraid it's the latter, but regardless, it's kind of nice. Have you not noticed this, John? That just like these little things are happening, and and now the European Central Bank is being called to account because they essentially determined that Italy's bonds were rated A when no agency has rated anything of Italy A except maybe their food, and even that's sketchy. It seems like there's something going on, and I don't know. I mean, what's your feeling? Do you have any vibe on this, or do you think it's just more of the same, and we're just weeding out competition?
Yeah.
Well, come on.
I'm totally into that theory. Your goody rainbow thing is way off. It just stuns me that you'd even come up with it. But okay,
maybe it's just wishful thinking. Maybe just being a little hopeful.
It reminds me. For some reason, I think this is epitomized by this story. soccer gender test issue in Korea. Play this clip.
Okay, hold on a second. I wasn't quite expecting a clip. Hold on. They got sticky fingers. Here we go. What is going on, people? Sorry.
This is one of 19 goals Park Yun-seon scored in 22 games to help the Seoul City Amazons to a surprising second-place finish in the recently completed WK League. But such was her dominant and prolific goal-scoring campaign, 6 of the other 7 teams in South Korea's top-level women's football league are reportedly threatening to boycott next season unless she undergoes a gender test. The Seoul Sports Council said it would only consider the idea of a gender test if football's world governing body, FIFA, demanded it. Secretary General of the Council, Kim Jun-soo, said we have no intention of accepting the gender verification test just to stop the boycott. But if it is needed for Park to compete in an international game and under specific regulations of FIFA, then we will consider it. It's emerged this isn't the first time the 26-year-old's gender has come into question. China reportedly raised the subject ahead of the 2010 Asian Cup, although the South Korean FA say Park, who has won 19 international caps, took and passed a gender test when she was 15.
You mean there's dudes playing there?
Well, I don't know what the situation with this Park, which is, of course, everybody's named Park or Kim in Korea, but she looks like a Chinese male basketball player. She's about 6'2", and she's huge. And she looks like a guy, and she's flat as a pancake and has a facial characteristics of a man. And runs, and she faster and better than all the women on the field. So they're thinking she's either doped up on roids or that she's been taking male hormones or something. Whatever the case was, I think this kind of cheating, which I believe is it's at least suspected with her, but I think this kind of thing is rampant. I think the entire world has become a bunch of cheaters.
Okay.
And I see it on we've already proven this on when we can pick winners of these major sporting events.
Oh, well, yeah, sure. But to blame it on the...
I blame it on the Koreans.
On the tranny Korean. It's a little rough.
Well, maybe they just don't want to get harsh.
Maybe they just don't want to get kicked off the team.
Well, she's definitely a kick-ass player.
You're safe. All right, John, I know you're not going to be totally satisfied until we just get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. It happens a couple times a year. Here's the John C. Dvorak news package.
It could be 4 times a year.
So
here's the first thing. I got to give you this because you said, oh, this woman's beautiful, this Venezuelan woman. This event was probably the most astonishing. I like to watch these, and then I like to play kind of the...
Can I just back you up for 1 second, John? Yeah. If there are new people to this program who are going, what? You guys talk about banking, you talk about bullcrap in the news, you talk about pipelines, you talk about global issues. Why the beauty pageants?
I forgot why. We had a really good reason.
I think it's just hot chicks. Wasn't that the reason?
We had a reason at one point. So I like to play the effete fashion critic that goes over the Oscars and says, oh, she wore her dress was too short. She was horrible in it. And with these beauty pageants, because you can watch them and you go why would they pick her?
Right.
This, I have to say, was the only time you could have thrown a dart at this group of women, and any one of them would have been Miss Universe. Okay. They were all gorgeous. They all had incredible bodies. It was ridiculous. It was like, was there one that didn't have a 22-inch waist? It was jaw-dropping. Trump was in the front row. It's in Moscow.
Yeah.
He's in the front row gloating, thinking, I wonder which one is going to come home with me.
Wait a minute. This was in Moscow?
Yeah, it was in Moscow.
Did they have Snowden up front? That would have been cool.
Should have him as judge.
Yeah. Now we have a question from whistleblower Snowden.
So they had this. So the whole thing was, and I believe that when he was called out for rigging the thing, I think this was rigged too. But I only go by questions.
Let me guess. No,
but it doesn't make any difference. Everybody, when they picked the top 15 or whatever, and then the top 5, it doesn't. They could have picked anybody. These women they looked like probably, I would say, in some instances. Probably the 5 I get this from a Richard Pryor comedy act. there was a lot of $5,000 a night hookers in this thing.
You think they were really actually hookers, John?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was just like, wow.
And how do you know? Is this the price? Is this a general price, or is this the Silicon Valley price?
No, that was something. Pryor brought it up. He had said there was these layers of hookers that had different prices, and the top ones, if you really were loaded with dough, it was typically $5,000 for these.
Yeah, but this is in Pryor days. I mean, so when Pryor was doing hookers and blow,
well, maybe it's up to 10.
It's got to be 15 by now.
But let's face it, it's too rich for our blood.
Yeah, okay. Let's put it that way.
We can say
we can't afford them.
So there's a couple of things. I got 1, 2, 3. I got 6 clips, but they're most of them are short.
Honey, I have the studio door locked. You have to break it down to kill me. I'm sorry.
So here we go with. Now I want to play the burlesque music clip first because they brought these women. You remember there's a stereotype of the old burlesque girl. She comes out and they got a guy on a snare drum and he goes ba boom da ba boom da, and maybe a bass. And she comes out tearing her clothes off as she walks across the stage. Right. Now this was the bikini thing, so she already had most of her clothes torn off already. But it was like, I'm thinking, what is the message here of these Vavoom girls walking up the stage? So I only have one clip of this, and it's the one with the girl who's Miss UK, who's a gorgeous blonde. And then you just have to listen to her kind of screwball background.
Great Britain.
We've got an athletic adventurer who loves to travel here. She went backpacking around Egypt by herself and went skied in Switzerland alongside Prince William and Prince Harry. Indonesia.
So she's a spy hooker, is what you're saying.
I don't know what she is, but she's floating around Asia.
What fine misogynistic broadcast network was airing this in the United States?
CBS.
Okay.
Either CBS or ABC.
I can't.
One of the two.
Why are women who yell at me? Why are they not up in arms and boycotting CBS and their sponsors for this clearly sexist, misogynistic, women-hating, just objectifying, horrible piece of crap?
Let's make sure we don't want to defame any one of these great networks. I'm going to make sure Miss Universe was on. Not on. It was ABC. It wasn't NBC, that much I know.
Oh, okay. I thought Trump was NBC.
Or, I mean, it wasn't NBC. No. Yeah. No, I don't know what. Anyway, Trump produced this thing. So, yeah, she comes out. Now I think it's possible that instead of $10,000 a night hookers, these women are all spies.
Well,
for one thing,
that I'll buy. That I would buy for sure.
There was the one girl from Puerto Rico. She learned Russian just before coming to this thing, and so she could blend in. They said, and this girl, this knockout from the UK, she was, who's hanging around with, or apparently coincidentally skiing with the princes while roaming around Egypt by herself, which seems unlikely.
By the way, it was NBC Universal. This is Trump's network.
Oh, it was NBC.
Yeah.
I was completely wrong.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, right. It was on, Channel 11. Yeah.
Boycott NBC, MSNBC, CNBC, boycott it all.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of bullcrap in the show, besides the show itself.
Really?
When you get this plug out of the blue for something, play the next clip, which is Download.
Okay.
Welcome back to Miss Universe 2013, coming at you from Moscow.
All right, so if you want to interact with all kinds of extra Miss Universe content throughout the evening, we highly recommend that you download the Z-Box app.
Yes.
Yeah. I got your Z-Box right here, baby.
Okay, whatever.
Z-Box. Well, what is the Z-Box? Do I get the Z your box? The Z-Box app. What the hell is that?
So they plugged that thing for some reason. So when every one of the girls came up, when they introduced themselves, they yelled where they were from, which I thought was really weird. I'm from, and they screaming into the mic. And then they had these little things, little bits on the side, and the typical thing was to earmark the girl was she likes puppies or she likes kittens, and this was it.
Yes.
This was as deep as they go.
Okay, got it.
She likes to cook.
I can't believe that there's no outrage over this show.
Now, so they have all these questions, and they're asking these crazy questions of all these women, and they're all these semi-political questions until they get to Venezuela. And I want to give 2 examples of the questions. Play the question for Brazil. There's just the question. You get an idea of what kind of questions we're talking about.
Judge number 3, Carol Alt. Can we have your question, please?
Carol Alt was a judge? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She was like one of the original supermodels, wasn't she?
Probably. She's hanging out in Moscow.
You may. Good evening and good luck.
Boa noite. Boa sorte.
What is your opinion on places that do not allow women to do things such as travel abroad, vote, or drive cars?
Qual é a sua opinião a respeito?
What?
So decided to slam against Saudi Arabia.
Oh, obviously.
Who wouldn't...
And Egypt.
And they did not let I didn't see any Saudi women there, so they wouldn't let them do this. So I thought, that was just a Trump slamming. Now we go another one, just another shorty. This is the question for the Philippines girl.
Judge number 7, Lara Lipinski. Can we please have your question?
Yeah. My question is, what can be done about the lack of jobs for young people starting their careers around the world?
How did she answer that? Eat them?
She said her answer was, education. We need more education. I'm into education. I'm going to be an educator, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So then we had, now this is a longer one. This is the whole thing with the answers, so you can see what these were all like, because everybody was either spoke English or Spanish, except for Miss Brazil, who spoke Portuguese. They didn't bring up Miss Ukraine, who was a knockout, or Miss Russia, or anybody, because they didn't have, I believe, because they didn't have the translators there. So they couldn't ask these stupid questions.
They had to skimp on the production budget somewhere.
Yeah. So they brought on Miss Spain, who came in second, and here's her entire presentation.
Thank you.
Brazil, thank you very much. We're going to send you back over, and now we'd like to invite over now Spain.
I'm just imagining, John, who do we have next? I could just imagine us hosting this show.
We need to get this gig.
In white tuxedos.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. We would be so awesome.
White tuxedos.
Oh, my God. We'd be top hats.
Select a card, please.
Por favor, selecciona una tarjeta.
Okay, judge number 5. Anne V, can we have your question, please?
Hello, Miss Spain, and good luck.
Hola, señorita España. Buena suerte.
Thank you so much. Good evening. Good evening. What is the most significant thing we can do to help What is the most significant thing we can do to help elect more women to political offices around the world?
¿Qué es lo más importante que podemos hacer para poder seleccionar y elegir?
You know, before we get to the answer of this is putting my tit in a ringer. So we have a naked girl now being asked how we can get more women elected into political office. Does anyone see how insane this is?
I found it peculiar, and especially from this woman, Anne V. She was one of the judges. Anne V, you can look her up. She's a model, a Russian model, speaks perfect English.
Spy.
Probably a dynamite spy. And she is, I don't know. I mean, it was very strange, and this question I thought was odd. I feel exactly the same way you do.
So the only answer can be is let's get Hillary in, and she'll be a great example. That would be my answer.
A mujeres en puestos políticos
in Spanish.
Alrededor del mundo.
Good evening. Pienso que para poder seleccionar una buena mujer debe tener las cualidades que esta reúna para cumplir su labor.
I believe that in order to select a good woman, she must possess the good qualities in order to perform a good job.
Yeah, but we asked a different question. Wow, this is so over the top.
Disciplina, saber adaptarse.
Hell yeah, disciplina.
Responder.
Vacunados.
Discipline, know how to adapt herself, how to respond.
Con su labor, su función, complaciendo así con su trabajo.
Her work, her performance, and fulfilling her job.
And she didn't win? This is best answer ever. Wow.
No, she didn't win. Her smile was like $900,000.
Do you think that the double entendre that we clearly see is lost on the American audience? Or do you think that people at home are going, Or is it just us?
No, it's literally just us.
Okay.
That's why we do this.
All right.
Nobody else sees any of this except us.
Okay. Wrap it up, Johnny. Johnny, take it home.
What this is all about.
Take it home for me.
So we go to the winner. This is the last clip, and this is Miss Venezuela. Now, they're asking about politics, about women and girls and education and who can be elected president and what about people that can't drive cars and all the rest. And so now we go to Miss Venezuela, and here's the softball question. This one is like this. It just made me drop.
Hey, judge number 1, Steven Tyler.
So, Steven Tyler's in Moscow? What a gig. Oh, man, we're getting boned.
We have your question, please.
Hello, Miss Venezuela.
Hola, señorita Venezuela.
Hello.
What is your biggest fear, and how do you plan to overcome it?
¿Cuál es el temor mayor que tienes y cómo piensas sobreimponerte a ese temor?
Yo creo que uno tiene muchos temores, sin embargo, esto no es negativo.
I believe that one may have a lot of fears, but nonetheless, this is nothing negative.
Yo pienso que los temores los tenemos que sobrepasar y que estos nos hagan cada día más fuertes.
I believe we should overcome all of our fears, and this in turn would make us much stronger.
Y de esta manera volvernos mejor personas. Al momento que asumimos nuestros miedos, somos más fuertes y capaces de enfrentarnos a cualquier reto.
And thusly, we can become stronger persons. As soon as we overcome our fears and we're sure of ourselves, we can face any challenge.
Thank you.
Venezuela, thank you very much, and congratulations, ladies, for getting through that
Straight from Reseda, here she is, Raven. Give it up.
I'm thinking we can do a better job than Trump. Wow.
You might do a better job of the show.
Wow.
But I have to say, he really went over the top with these women. I don't know where they came from, but they were all there from everywhere in the world, supposedly. And it was an eye popper. I have never seen a collection like this.
Wow. Well, good report, John. Good work on that. Yeah, good
Miss
work
Venezuela did win. And the end of the show, they said she wins, and boom, the show's over. It was a very strange ending to the show. And she had such a big smile that when she closed her mouth, it was like you could see that there was something, the muscular structure changed, and it snapped back open into this huge monster smile. She could barely keep her mouth shut. She could barely close her mouth without boom, like a spring.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. It must have been a tough one. It sounds like you were really enjoying this.
Well, actually, here's the way I had to deal with it, because it was real. The show overall was just dumb. So I recorded it, and then I sped watched it. And I got to the end. I wanted to look at the bathing contest, and I noticed the bathing suits. And then I noticed this drum beat, and then I just went to the end part, which is where they choose the final winner. But even at fast speeds, it was like, holy crap, is there an unattractive woman in here? I can't find one. Anyway, that's my report.
Yeah, that's a good report. Thank you very much.
You'll get another one in about, now that the cycle is over, it takes 9 months before we go to
another one. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So along with my kind of semi-observation that, you took the low road on, that there's things changing. So it also appears that somehow the United States is not interested in being Israel's bitch anymore. And we're like pushing, we're trying, well, although the talks in Geneva failed, or nothing came out of them yet, let's put it that way. Probably because Kerry showed up at the last moment. He's just a moron. Hey, here I am. Look at my head. Look at my initials. John F. Kerry, JFK, I was to remind you of. And I was like, oh, geez, not that douchebag. So nothing came out of it. But have you followed this UNESCO voting rights thing?
Not closely. I've heard about it.
Yeah. So UNESCO is... It sounds like nothing I'd want to be involved in anyway, but it's the United Nations. Hold on, what does it actually stand for? Educational, Scientific, Cultural Organization. And I think what the big deal is with UNESCO is you get a UNESCO cultural site, which is probably a way of protecting oil interests somehow, I'm sure. I haven't figured that one out, but it's always seemed like this scam, and who cares? Why do we need a UNESCO seal of approval for anything? And the United States apparently has lost its voting rights. Well, I'll read from the UNESCO page here. Legislation from the 1990s has prevented the United States of America from paying dues to UNESCO since the organization voted to admit Palestine in 2011. So this is an Israel thing. Member states that do not pay dues for 2 years lose their rights to vote in UNESCO's General Conference, which I guess is where they determine what's an important site or building or temple or something of that ilk. And I thought that, since when do we have to pay United Nations fees and additional? Isn't it just all part of the United Nations? We have to pay them separately? And I don't think you have the answer, but to me, this is obviously a political game of some sort. I'm just not quite sure who's playing it, other than, I guess, Susan Powers, now that she's our ambassador to the United Nations. And this clearly has some anti-Israel thing that's going on, and we have Netanyahu all bent out of shape that we're even talking to Iran. What do you make of it, John?
I don't know. I think you're onto something, but I don't think we have enough specifics, or we haven't heard enough to come up with anything that's even close to being an analysis. This just showed up.
Yeah, we've seen the Netanyahu thing, and all. Of course, Netanyahu isn't the only quote unquote leader in Israel. There's other people who matter. So it's not only what he says. But we're clearly, making a deal essentially with Rouhani, who isn't he the guy that wasn't he involved in Iran-Contra? Wasn't he the guy that set that deal up? Isn't this like?
Yeah, he's that guy.
He's like,
I think so, yeah.
We know we've had interesting dealings with this guy before. He's not like just new on the scene all of a sudden. So, we know what he's all about. But it just seems like there's something bubbling. I can't place my finger on it though. I'm unsure. I'm hoping that our producers will come in and give us some thoughts on that. Also in Haiti, violent protests. About time. You got to watch the Haitians. They kicked the French out. I think the only colony ever to successfully kick its oppressors out. Now,
and then let's see what happened.
Well, it didn't turn out that great because, the French eventually said, here's an earthquake, screw you. But they want Michael Martelly out. Now, of course, we all know that sweet Mickey Martelly is, just because the other guy got too big for his britches. Who was the other, what was his name?
The other rapper.
the other rapper. And he started wearing suits and taking the Clinton jet all the time. It's like, no, dude, son, you got to just simmer down. We'll make your colleague here. We'll make him president. And so, no, people are shooting up the place, and they want him away because he's essentially, well, they accuse him of cronyism. The protesters charge his ruling of the impoverished Caribbean nation and he's doing things for the benefit of his friends and family, and for the tourist industry, for the Clinton Hotel and Beach Resort, which is not a joke. So that's good to see. I hope they can keep it up.
I wonder if Clinton can ever get the guts to actually call his hotel
Bill Clinton Beach Resort, the Clinton.
Where are you staying? I'm at the Clinton.
I'm at the Clinton.
You're at the Clinton? How did you get in there?
I'm at the Clinton. Yes.
It sounds like a ritzy hotel. It sounds like an exclusive hotel for the rich and famous. The Clinton. I'm at the Clinton.
You know what we should do right now? Before we move a single muscle, hold on a second. I don't want to say it because otherwise someone else might do it. Let us try right now the Clinton.com. Do you think that will be available? I'm going to try it right now. I can register the Clinton.com as just a domain name. Oh, crap. Nope.
Somebody has it.
Yeah. Clinton.
Yeah.
Bill's already got it.
Is there a .hotel nowadays?
I just went for the Clinton.com. Let's see. Before we go into our donation segment, a couple of interesting vaccination pieces of news. First of all, a big study, partially funded by Pfizer. Chantix apparently not responsible for people going crazy and killing people, including themselves. This according to Psychiatric News. Chantix does not even appear to cause psychiatric events, according to this. You got to love the pharmaceutical industry, man. You really got to love them. So the expert who did this, Gibbons, who did this study, served as an expert witness for Pfizer in a case related to varenicline and neuropsychiatric adverse events, but Pfizer provided no financial support for the study itself directly. But they took one of their expert witnesses and said, hey, could you do a study? So just so you know, it's safe to take Chantix. If you want to believe the government, if you listen to the No Agenda show, stay away from it. Then another little ditty that popped up that I thought was kind of interesting. Is MSG, John, is that outlawed in America, or is it frowned upon, or is it...
It's frowned upon.
Because it's... What does it stand for again?
Monosodium glutamate. It is a natural occurring substance in mushrooms.
Mm-hmm. And
it can be chemically made from scratch. Through a process of some sort, obviously.
Yeah.
And people believe that it gives a lot of people headaches and flushing and has other issues. It's less so with the mushrooms because it's a natural ingredient in the mushrooms. And so if you want to, it creates mouthfeel. It's a mouthfeel ingredient. The Japanese like to use it. It makes things feel, besides having no real flavor, it gives mouthfeel and some sort of there's a Japanese word for it that
Japanese or Chinese? Because I thought it was like Chinese restaurants use this, didn't they?
No, Chinese restaurants use it a lot, but the Japanese, Ajinomoto, the Japanese are the ones who promoted the chemical, which is Ajinomoto. And they're the ones who made all these words for what it does and all the rest of it. The Chinese, they use it by the ton in most Chinese food. But you can use it. You don't need it. You can, if you have mushrooms in the food, it provides it naturally.
Right.
And it doesn't give anyone a headache. I had tested this headache thesis on somebody once years ago, and they did indeed get a headache.
I always understood that MSG, that it actually made your brain think the food tasted better. Is that incorrect?
It's the mechanism is not totally known, but it's according to the Japanese, it's a mouthfeel, and
whatever that means.
Well, it means it tastes luscious. It has it makes the food taste like richer. It makes things taste richer. So if you got a gravy that's good gravy, put a little MSG in there, it's better somehow.
Oh, here it is. I went and I consulted. Whoa. I don't know what that was, but I consulted the Book of Knowledge. Mouthfeel is indeed in the Book of Knowledge. Is a product's physical and chemical interaction in the mouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Mouth. Oh, it's used from wine tasting. That's probably why you know it.
No.
Oh.
I never knew it as a wine tasting anything.
I like that mouthfeel. Well, anyway, they're putting MSG in the new flu mist.
Oh, so it's tasty. I don't know why you do that. What's the point?
Well, apparently it tastes like crap.
and just go up the nose or in the mouth?
No, this is the thing that you shoot up your nose. It's the mist that they give kids and shoot it up their nose, and now they've added MSG to it. I guess
I like that idea.
Well, that's why I brought it up. I thought it would be funny to look at.
I don't think you should be shooting up MSG.
Well, apparently the CDC thinks that MSG
gives a lot of people a headache. The crystalline form of MSG will give a lot of people, not just 1 in 10 million. It gives enough people headaches that you have to ask for no MSG often. And I don't like the idea of having everything dosed up with MSG.
No, me neither. In fact, I've always avoided it. I'm like, this doesn't sound like a good idea. Okay, before we get to the donation segment, I actually have...
I have a couple of things. Well, actually, I can save them, but I have
can I just roll two quickies?
All right, you do 2 clips. We'll go donations, and then we'll do my clip.
Okay. Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, you just had a huge segment about chicks, so I'm trying to bring us back a little bit. So the struggle continues regarding any evidence of any wrongdoing of any form in Connecticut at Sandy Hook.
A prosecutor in Connecticut is urging a judge to block the release of the 911 calls from Sandy Hook Elementary on the day a gunman went on a shooting spree, killing 20 children and 6 school staff members. The state's Freedom of Information Commission ruled in September that the tapes should be released after a request from the Associated Press. Now, in the meantime, demolition crews continue their work at the site where that school once stood. All that remains now is the concrete foundation. Workers expect to have it completely demolished by next month.
So that took no time at all, did it? Everything is gone. Just wiped off the face of the earth, and we're probably not ever going to get these 911 tapes. Which, and I'm
there's a number of these things like this. There's like the videotape of the airline hitting the Pentagon.
Yeah, that would be
it's on the list
very
of
annoying.
Things that they supposedly have, but they won't release. Why won't they release it? Doesn't make sense to me unless there was somebody making monkey faces in front of the camera.
Yeah. There's the videotape of the Boston Bombers putting the
thing in there. They have
into the
tape
trash.
supposed to have that. We have never seen it.
No.
And now there's this Sandy Hook thing when there's all this. We just never seen pictures of anything.
Yeah, well, there's also the video of LAX. We'd love to see that. We have simulated videos, animated videos.
Right, there's cameras all over LAX. Yeah. Tons. I mean, all these airports are super camera-ized.
Camera-ized.
And why don't we see the thing of that? And then there's the Navy Yard guy, which is just one phony thing.
We got the video of him with no ammo. Not shooting
around,
not shooting, just running around. And we saw his Prius in the garage. Woo! Chilling. So this leads into
how often can this go on?
Well, this is what I find fascinating is that you can have a conversation with someone and they believe they have seen all this stuff. You can say, "Hey, the video about the bombers? Oh yeah, no, I saw the video that put their backpacks in the trash," because it's been. You just tell the lie over and over again, and show people enough. It's like again we had the Sarneff, the remaining Boston bomber. He's in court, and and he's denying all this stuff, and he's calling on all kinds of legal procedures. And we're not even seeing a picture of him. We're just seeing the court drawings, which is so 1850s. Like, why are we still accepting as a modern, connected public a drawing of someone in the court? It's bullcrap.
Well, I think here's the argument, and I have the argument against it. The argument is, we can't because there'd be all these moments and people be clicking cameras and it would be click, 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 and it would be annoying.
Which is not true because we can be totally silent.
Nowadays, it's not true because you can be totally silent, and you can also just have there's also the possibility, it seems to me, and the obvious thing to do, and I think this has been done in some cases when the judge wants the thing because he wants to make a name for himself and wants it broadcast, is a pool camera.
Right.
Which is just streaming the whole thing.
Sure.
And you take clips as I want to get that clip. And you have a note, you make a note of what the number of the frame is, and you got it.
Okay, here's what I would recommend. Just put it all on C-SPAN because no one watches that. Only we watch it. Only the people who really, truly care could go watch it. Everyone says, "Oh, C-SPAN." Oh, no. Well, even though that's the funniest.
Right, people hate C-SPAN.
It's the funniest channel ever. So anyway, but my
C-SPAN,
yes,
it kind of gets me about this. C-SPAN does stream the audio of the Supreme Court when they have an interesting case.
Yeah.
I don't understand why the Supreme Court doesn't have a camera on them. Because you want to see you hear the guy yakking away. There's one guy, Brennan, I think, or one of these guys is so full of himself. I would like to see him. I like to see his image when he's he's asking some crazy question.
Well, I don't know the answer to that, but I do know, and I put in the show notes, and I'll do it again. The Zen TV experiment. If you can see how manipulated we've become, like all this stuff is so presumed and so obvious, even though we really never have seen it. There is no visual evidence or tangible evidence in any form whatsoever. It's only what we've been told. Just show me the LAX New World Order note. That's all. Just show me the note. I mean, it can't be some huge government secret that we can't see a scan of the note.
Really? The note? Where's the note?
I mean, why not? Just why not? And why? But more importantly, why is none of your news media asking why not? Well, then you can only presume it's all rigged.
Yes, which is what we presume, I might add.
So now, was it you that was telling me, or did we have a story a couple weeks ago? And maybe it was one of our producers even, that's what I'm thinking, who wrote us and said that a lot of these gun magazines, and I'm hoping it was also Guns and Ammo, have been bought up by some like liberal Democrat.
Oh yeah, no, one of our producers sent in a long note.
You remember who that was?
Describing this process, because he used to write for one of the Guns and Ammo or one of these magazines.
But was it Guns and Ammo specifically?
No, it was all these. Like a crap load of these rifled Guns and Ammo and all these magazines are all owned by some anti-gun guy.
Well, did you follow what happened?
No.
Oh, listen to this report.
Time now for the News Nation Gut Check. An article in the latest issue of Guns and Ammo has elicited such a strong backlash from readers that the editor is stepping down from the magazine after firing the guy who wrote the piece. The column was written by Dick Metcalf. He wrote about his take on the Second Amendment, saying in part, quote, too many gun owners still seem to believe that any regulation of the right to bear and keep arms is an infringement. The fact is, all constitutional rights are regulated and need to be. Guns and Ammo editor Jim Burkett is now apologizing to furious readers and also announced that he has fired Metcalf and he's stepping down himself.
Okay, so that's the basic story. And of course, this caught my attention. I don't subscribe to Guns and Ammo. I'm not an NRA member or anything like that. I have firearms, and I'm happy I have them. And I think it's great, certainly in Texas. But this caught my attention. I'm like, wow, wait a minute. So could it be that they essentially been trying to weed out the people who were the original Guns and Ammo guys, and so they're going to get rid of some of the journalists, get the editor out while we're at it. But then the way this MSNBC report took it, it was so obvious what a setup this is to discredit journalism, really. Like, it's just crazy that you could even, how far have we come in this country that you can't even have a conversation about the Second Amendment? It was really, to me, it felt like a huge setup, and I'm just thinking, wait a minute, maybe this was the whole plan from the get-go with this operative who has come in and bought up all these magazines. So I thought we'd just listen to this for a second, because it was interesting. If you're bored, let me know.
Joining me live now, Philip Bump, staff writer for The Atlantic Wire, has been covering this story. Philip fires Dick Metcalf, says the guy who gets fired says that he was just writing to talk about this Illinois law that requires gun owners to undergo 16 hours of training before obtaining a concealed weapons permit. Is that what set off the readers?
Yeah, in terms of the gun control measures that you could advocate for, it was perhaps as mild as you can imagine. But the way that he framed it in the context of there are limits that apply to the Second Amendment, ones that we already recognize, just as there are limits to other constitutional amendments, that frame is what promoted the reaction.
A statement of fact.
Oh, absolutely. Unquestionably. And in fact, a lot of the outcry that was issued in response to that clearly didn't even read the article, because he negated some of the arguments that were presented against him in the article itself. But because it is just crossing this line that was unacceptable, the reaction was furious.
In his open apology to Guns and Ammo readers, editor Jim Burkett.
Does this grab you at all, John? Or because now that I'm hearing it again, I'm like, maybe it's not that interesting.
No. This is interesting. Play.
Okay. Wrote this in part, quote, I made a mistake by publishing the column. I thought it would generate a healthy exchange of ideas on gun rights. I miscalculated. Pure and simple. That's bizarre. That the publisher would apologize for publishing an article to get folks talking about a topic that would seem to be top of mind to all the folks who pick up that magazine.
Right, yeah, this is a magazine that has a circulation as of last August of over 400,000. It is a very widely read magazine. And the question that it prompts is, if you can't have a conversation about tiny incremental changes to the Second Amendment with a readership that large, where can you have that?
Tiny incremental mental changes.
Conversation.
One would also contend this speaks volumes about who we have become as a country, collectively. That you can't even have conversations in magazines that appear to lean a certain. You can't even challenge certain ideas without fear of reproach and termination.
Sure. I mean, the Guns and Ammo had every right to take the actions that it did. The editor had every right to say, okay, you're fired and I'm stepping down. It is their own space. This isn't a First Amendment issue for them. But the fact that this Second Amendment issue crossed this tiny little line and prompted that reaction, I think you're right, is startling.
There you go.
Well, this is a phony deal.
That's what I'm thinking. To me, it felt like a total setup just to, get this whole thing like, oh, people don't want to talk. And probably this magazine has really, truly, or all these magazines have just been hijacked and everyone's being sold down the river.
Yeah, that would, Richard Metcalf, let's see, Dick Metcalf. For one thing, he was fired, but he was writing an op-ed. Op-ed people usually aren't staffers.
Aren't on staff, right.
So that part of it is kind of screwy. And then the editors quits in a huff for some reason. This whole thing is bull crap. We'll get into. We'll figure it out.
You're a magazine
We don't
guy.
have it at our fingertips.
Now you're the magazine guy, so I know you'll figure this out. And then I just wanted to give you a little tip. Have you seen this Google Helpouts thing?
Helpouts?
Yeah.
Google Helpouts?
Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen this?
Apparently not.
Oh my goodness. Helpouts.
It's not that big of a deal that I haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, because it has you written all over it. That's why I'm bringing it up. Helpouts.google.com. So you can become a helpout, and it's really fantastic. They have people are showing people
I see what it is.
how to do.
I can get some rock guitar lessons or artist development for free.
Yeah, or you can get yoga lessons, or someone can help you with your homework.
Where did this come from?
From Google. But I'm thinking.
I mean, where did they get?
But I'm thinking. This is your opportunity.
For what?
When someone needs to choose a wine in a restaurant.
Oh, the rest thing. Right, you brought this up before.
Yes, this is like $50, which is well worth it, by the way, to have John C. Dvorak look at your wine menu and help you choose so you can impress the people you're with.
In a pinch.
Yes. And I think
I could say, what's your budget? What do you want to spend? How much do you want to impress the person?
This is perfect for you.
And I said, read me this list from this part here. Blah, 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 blah. Get the mail Kamase.
Yeah, just
get that sucker.
Just snap a picture with your smartphone, send it in, get a little, and you can set your own price.
On my smartphone, I could take a quick look at the list.
Yeah.
Of or a couple, whatever page you guys or I'll send them to the page you should go to.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
And then in a pinch, just get a champagne. That's my advice.
Great. Just get a champagne. Hey, but $50 or something. I think it'd be a good deal.
I think it's kind of pricey, but I think for some of these guys, it might be worth it. You're right.
Exactly.
And besides that, I don't want to be on the hook all day for $10 a piece.
No, we want to do it for 50 or nothing. Anyway, that was just my little idea for helping you out around the home. The home budget. It was really my idea.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, oh No Agenda. In the morning.
I do think that this is, although we don't need Google, I think that this is there is a real future in people helping each other for payment, which is kind of what we do. We help people live healthier lives. By being able to see through what is really happening, and it is just healthier for you, and people support us for that. And I think that this is we just don't need a Google in the middle. I
know a lot of people do feel better after listening to me. They feel bad about the bad things happening, but they feel better that they're not being, or that they have an edge up on being snookered.
Yeah.
For somebody else's benefit, because that's what we try to keep people from being snookered.
Exactly.
All right, well, we had a few people that donated to help us on this journey. John Grumling, 179.88 from Battlement Mesa, Colorado. Wow. What a name for a town.
Awesome.
Battlement Mesa. It must be you're on top of a mesa and you can throw hot boiling oil down on the enemies. Just writing a needlessly long note to explain my contribution to 179.88. I had to remind everyone that yours may be the only podcast in existence that I can say without worry that he says audible.com sucks ass.
He goes, I read this whole note, actually.
Now he goes into a rant. This is not, we don't do anti-corporate rants from individuals.
No. But what he says at the end, which I did appreciate, is he felt that he got more value out of the No Agenda show than Audible. So he is essentially supporting this program in lieu of continuing his Audible subscription.
I think you get a lot for your money on this show.
Yeah,
and it's not a pig in a poke. You get to listen to the show and you say, "Oh, those guys are worth it. I'll send them some money." It's not as though you have to pay us before you listen.
No,
those days are over.
No, that's not. It's just, it doesn't work that way anymore. Or
Sir Philip,
or listen to this horrible commercial.
Oh yeah,
just don't.
The commercials are bad. Sir Philipson in Welshpool, Powys, the UK, 150, wants to chime in on the porn debate from Thursday's show as a person, and he goes into a long exposition about how bad porn was for him personally.
In the addictive sense.
Yeah, he was addicted. So, okay.
But he says he wants to get one step closer to being a baronet. Thanks us for our hard work, our enthusiasm, and we always appreciate some feedback on any of the topics. We need to be educated all the time, and so we take your information as a piece of education.
So we have 6 Making It Rain, $111.11 Norwalk, Connecticut donations.
Can I just make a little suggestion here?
Okay.
Okay. So we have people want to make it rain, and so Making It Rain is, for those of you who don't know, typically is when you throw $111.11 up on stage in the strip club.
Straight from Reseda, here she is, Raven. Give it up.
And I was thinking maybe we can just do, I don't think we have to do all the notes that come along with Making It Rain, but maybe we can just, for each person making it rain, we can you can just thank them with a different stripper name.
I think people should give us stripper names on this Making It Rain segment, which will probably only last a few months.
Right. Yeah.
And then we can do a call out to them, like their wives or girlfriends.
Oh, yeah. We can kind of do... So I was thinking we kind of have a little bit of music, and this would be our Making It Rain segment. So go ahead.
And here she is. Put your hands together. Stage 1, Bambi. To stage 1, the main stage, Raven. We had a bunch of names that we picked. That's what I was looking for.
We have Tiffany. We have Crystal. We have
Crystal. Crystal's on stage 3. There was a place in the Gold Club that was in Atlanta, Georgia. They had this guy that was announced. There was 40 stages.
Do you have the list? You don't have the list that we did this whole list?
I thought I put it in the red book.
Amber.
Thumbing through it.
Crystal to the stage.
Amber. There's Crystal. There's what's some of these other names?
Brandy, Angel.
So we're kind of making we're not going to get any more 111 donations if we can't smooth this out.
Really? Listen, we had Roxy, Houston, Dallas, Anastasia. Come on, man.
Where did you get the list? I don't have it.
Well, I wrote my list down.
Right, Anastasia. To the main stage, Anastasia. Put it together. Give it up for Anastasia. Give it up for Anastasia. Stage 1.
Okay, let's thank our Making It Rain donors here.
Jeez. Here's a joke about this.
Yeah.
Besides the bit itself, I decided you can Google on YouTube, strip joint DJs.
Oh, no,
and
really?
It's actually a competition on a couple of radio shows.
Oh, no.
So I listened to all the best guys.
Oh. Your colleagues.
That's how it confused me. Did some work.
All right.
You never know it. Blake Israel, Norwalk, Connecticut. Scott in Herndon, Virginia. Paul Schneider in Edmonton, Alberta, where there are strip clubs. Patrick Turner in Austin, Texas, where there are no strip clubs.
Oh, we got plenty of strip clubs. What are you talking about?
Austin, Texas, there are strip clubs?
Yeah, and we got $5 dances on Tuesday afternoons.
Huh.
Yeah.
I wonder how you'd know that.
It's on the radio. They advertise them.
Anonymous in Langley, British Columbia. He's got a good story for us, he says. Sir Richard Garrett, our buddy from Ontario.
Papa 7, Alpha 7, Charlie 5.
No, that's the zip code of Ontario.
I'm just doing whatever I can.
He's not a ham.
He's not a ham? Oh, crap.
You can have 3 numbers.
Oh, how disappointing.
He says, 3 donations in a row. For the record, JCD is mistaken because Thunder Bay is firmly stuck in Her Majesty's Socialist Republic of Scandinavia.
Scandinavia.
Yeah, Scandinavia. So anyway, a lot of people like the Scandinavia thing.
Yes, a lot of people self-identify with it, actually.
See, the ways you can go. See, when you go to like Finland, you say you're in Scandinavia. No, it's Nordic. Yeah. So there's a little difference. There's some Scandinavian countries and some Nordic countries, but there are all these countries that are north. So I figure we either have Scandinavia or Canada Dick. And I think that Scandinavia has a better ring to it.
I agree. Yeah.
I'm sorry that I blew that segment.
That's okay.
If more Make It Rain, I'll have a professionally produced segment next time.
Yeah, I mean, I can do the elements, but you got to be kind of ready for it.
I got to get on the ball. I got to write some stuff down. Jarris Corporation, 8873.
Yeah, this is Chris Abram. He was very disappointed his last, because he's doing ham numbers, 8873s. He was very disappointed I didn't have them ready for him last time. So there's your 88s, and there's your 73s.
73s. Paul Tittle in Hamilton, Ontario, 8819. Michael, and we'll give you some karma at the end. Michael Reardon, 7777, got the idea.
Yep.
Richard Marshall.
Sack of sevens.
Sack of sevens, $75 from New York City. Chris Ball, $75 from Chicago. Frank Pugh, $75 from Tallahassee, Florida. Ryan Williams, 7373, which I now realize is the ham thing.
Yeah, which I should probably give him. Yeah.
And now we have
69, dudes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pickups on the 69 things. Ben Hink in Orland Park, Illinois. Oscar Quiroga in Porter, Texas. Eric Hallbritter in South Ogden, Utah. There's Jose Abreu in Lisbon.
Lisboa.
Lisbon, Portugal.
Yeah.
And Edward Hines in Jacksonville, Florida, and that'll be the group.
69, dudes.
Comes in with a check for $66.66 from Providence, North Carolina. Patrick Deary in Sarnia, Ontario, double nickels on the dime, the one only, and then the rest are $50 from Donald Gogan in Westminster, Massachusetts, Jason Fortune in Geneva, Illinois, and Paul Vella in Milton Keynes, UK, Brian Watson in Raleigh, North Carolina, great town, and no account number. $50 from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
And I'd like to remind everyone, if you are on one of our monthly subscriptions, we have to do this from time to time. Please check, because it's very possible that you just got dropped for no apparent reason by PayPal. They do it all the time. Typically, they'll send you a note saying, we dropped you, which is even crazier. But please check.
Never ends.
Yeah, because we have people on the 33s, the 12s, the 1111s, the 5s, the 4s, the 2s. All of that is highly appreciated. Thank you very much for supporting your podcast. Whether we win or not, we are
the best podcast in the universe.
And we'll need your support for Thursday's show, of course.
Dvorak.org/NA. It's your birthday.
Looks pretty short today. Of course, we were able to catch Matt Dietrich, who is 24. Happy birthday from your brother Josh. And David Trotsky congratulates his daughter Megan Trotsky. She'll be 19 on the 11th. Happy birthday from everybody here at the No Agenda Show.
It's your birthday, yeah.
And then we do have one nighting, which we also caught nicely, as he's a 11-11-11-11 night, Michael Levin. So please, if I can...
Wait, his last name is Levin?
That's what I have, yeah.
And all 11s.
Oh, my God. He will be our...
that now?
Sir 11? He will be Sir 11. The 11-11 night. I love it. That's perfect. Mike 11, step forward. You, sir, have been very helpful to the program, and we highly appreciate your support of the best podcast in the universe. The amount is $1,000 or more. You came in at 11-11-11. Your name is Mike 11. You are Sir 11, hereby pronounced Knight of the No Agenda Roundtable. Come on down, my friend. We've got for you opium and warm orange juice, hookers and blow, geishas and a bucket of fried chicken, rent boys and Chardonnay if you want to swing that way, hot pants and booze, Rubenesque women and rosé, vodka and vanilla, bong hits and bourbon, or just some plain old mutton and meat. It's here for you. And, of course, now that you are a knight, go to noagendanation.com/rings. Pick up what is rightfully yours. We've still got rings going, which I'm very happy to say. We've extended for about a year. We're probably going to keep on going with that. And, of course, if you don't know, if you're a knight already, you can become a baronet, a baron. You can go into dukedoms, a viscount, of course, into dukedoms, grand duke. You got to ask John because he's in charge of all peerage. I'm really not all that good with.
I only do it via memos.
I
have to get the peerage map out.
Yes. A couple of things I wanted to bring up regarding the snow job that we're still kind of following is, we have this ongoing battle between departments. We're still pretty convinced it's CIA running the entire show and the government. Let's face it, they've got the drones. They kill people. They run the drugs. They run everything. And so they've put the NSA in their spot. There's now even talk that Cyber Command may be split off from the NSA, and they may put a civilian in charge of the NSA, and then Cyber Command would fall under some other Department of Defense thing. That's
nice.
It's a little sketchy, but
good play.
Yeah, and Jane Harman.
Jane Harman.
Well, she's very interesting. Was she a senator or a congresswoman?
She was a congressman from California, Southern California, and she was very influential, and she was well-spoken.
Yes, well, she is now of course, a consultant, advisor, talking head on television, and she apparently has a big deal with CNN, and she goes on CNN, and I like her because she's very open. I don't think she's, like most of these people are run by some agency. I think she's all in on everything. She totally believes, that because of Snowden revelations, we're in danger, people are going to die. But she says things in this minute and a half that I think we need to listen to, because she's probably giving us predictive things that are going to happen, really telling us what the situation is, and I wanted to share that because my ears perked up when I heard her. And she's kind of cool to look at. She's just not annoying. Finally, someone who has an opinion and is not ashamed to give it.
Well, I think Congress should be taking the review it's taking. I think what Snowden did was despicable, but the debate we're having is commendable. And I think we shouldn't conflate all this. The telephone metadata program geared at foreign terrorists is one thing. Congress has a couple of approaches to narrow it. I don't think it should be eliminated, because I think it'll be back bigger than ever if we get attacked again. Then there is a separate thing. There's an
now, be very careful what she's saying here now.
Executive order. I write about this in today's Washington Post.
Yeah,
that was issued by. Thank you very much. That was issued by President Reagan and has been updated a couple of times. That authorizes our government to learn foreign governments' intentions.
This is very interesting. I believe this is Executive Order 12333. Hello. That Reagan signed in 1981, which extends.
Yeah, that's a very famous one.
Yeah, but no one talks about that. I thought it was interesting she brought it up. It's the strengthened management of the intelligence community, which was amended later by, certainly by Bush 1 and probably 2.
That's where this alleged cell phone stuff comes from. That executive order doesn't have the force of law. Congress could review that too. Congress knows about it. I surely knew about it in my 8 years on the Intelligence Committee, and narrow that as well.
So this is interesting. There's apparently this executive order, and Congress knows about it, but they don't want to do anything about it. What do you make of that?
Well, they know about it, and they don't want to do anything about it. I don't know. What do you make about it? It's just what it is.
It's sketchy.
Yeah, it's totally sketchy.
But the point I make in the Washington Post, and I think you would all agree, is about Crisis Management 101. I won 17 elections for the House.
Get in front of it.
And by the way, did I tell you she's awesome? And she thinks she's awesome?
Get in front of it. Primaries and general elections.
Now listen to what she's saying.
I was there for 9 terms. Get in front of it. We know, our government knows pretty much the colossal amount of information that Snowden has. And we know what it means, and I'm not sure he knows what it means. I'm assuming it could be being exploited by governments, which now have that information. But at any rate, get in front of it. Explain what's going to come out, what it means, if there are any things in it that are an oops, apologize, and
exactly
fix
what
them.
Bobby Inman said.
Yes.
So she's part of the litany that's off-site, still in the intelligence community of some way. She's another one of these wannabe spies.
Exactly. But they all know something else is coming. And ABC even made just a little short mention of this on one of their reports.
U.S. officials say they expect the worst is yet to come from Snowden. And whistleblower lawyers tell ABC News tonight that his example has actually led several other current and former NSA employees and contractors to come forward with their own secrets to reveal very soon, David.
But they're telling you the worst yet to come.
Yes.
Yeah, there's more to come.
By the way, that Brian Ross guy, I got to put a package together about him because it was the media, that media show that's on NPR, did a blowout piece on this guy.
Oh, really?
He's just full of crap. They're out to get him.
Really? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Why? Who cares about Brian Ross?
Because he comes on and he just lies. That's why. He's really bad. We'll do a thing in the upcoming weeks.
So now I'm paying attention to stuff, and I got this propaganda piece about how we're being monitored everywhere on the internet.
A mother in Issaquah made a shocking discovery when she looked through her 15-year-old daughter's cell phone.
And how you should monitor everything.
She found pictures and texts pointing towards the girl's involvement in prostitution. KOMO4's Joel Marino is live in Issaquah. And Joel, a lot of parents watching this just got chills hearing that.
Now they're going to bring out an internet expert. I always love it when they do this because I go and look at these internet experts, who they are. This is really good.
Well, Eric, these parents had no reason to suspect anything. The mom was just making a routine check of her daughter's cell phone when these disturbing
Notice the slave training going on here. Make sure you do routine checks of your kids' stuff.
Images and admissions turned up. When they walked through the police department doors, an Issaquah couple had some stunning news to share with detectives.
Well, they discovered some explicit photographs and messages between their daughter and some adults.
The evidence found on the 15-year-old girl's phone is detailed in court documents.
Well, not quite, but...
which include photos of the teen naked in the shower and texts where she discusses having sex in a man's car. Police say the parents were blindsided.
They did not suspect anything up to that point.
There were also references to the teen girl selling her used underwear to men through Craigslist. Detectives concluded it's possible the 15-year-old was engaged in prostitution.
So right now there's not a single piece of evidence that points towards prostitution.
No.
She sold her underwear on Craigslist, a picture of her in the shower, and then, whatever. And now we bring out Linda Criddle, online child safety expert.
Be very naive, even though they think they're sophisticated.
Linda Criddle is an internet safety expert who often advises parents on the best ways to monitor their children's smartphone and social media use. She says moms and dads need to be very clear what activities are and aren't acceptable and should check their devices regularly.
Not to snoop through everything they ever said to their friend in a drama, but to make sure that the bullying isn't going on, that the exploitation isn't going on.
And Issaquah police are now trying to track down potentially dozens of men who may have exploited this girl.
I love it. So we are so dumb. This
dozens of men.
This Linda
exploited this girl. They bought her panties.
Linda Criddle. She's a tireless advocate for consumers, John, and she wrote a book, Look Both Ways. Help protect your family on the internet.
You got Larry Maggot. At least he's been doing this forever.
Yeah. And then the final bit, now I'm tracking all these people, and I just got to say, I'm so skeptical. So the Lava Bit guy, And no one. I think he's getting away with very easily. This LavaBit guy who claims that he had to shut down his LavaBit service, email service, because of an email from Snowden. Everyone kind of conveniently overlooks the fact that at the same time this was happening, he received all kinds of legal notification because there was alleged child pornography being traded on his system. Not that would be a reason to shut anything down, but that's kind of glossed over in all of the in-depth reports. That's which is a little annoying. He was more than willing to help the feds, according to filings, as long as they paid him. Hey, if you give me $6,000, I'll give you all the information you want. I'm paraphrasing, but if you look into this, he's not quite as cut and dry as it would seem. And now he's working on an initiative with Zimmerman, from PGP and a couple other people to create something called Darkmail. And he's out there promoting this Darkmail thing. And I pulled a minute long, so he has done a Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter, they want like $190,000 to create to recreate email in some kind of secure fashion. And the things he's saying, I think, as a technologist, and I will consider myself a quasi-technologist, are outrageous and full of crap. And I'm not liking the noise that I'm hearing, and I want to call people's attention to it before they get sucked into whatever is being built.
I've been working with...
And this, by the way, is from the video of his Kickstarter. He didn't even do like a proper pitch video. It's just a piece of him being interviewed in some classroom or something.
Mike Jenke and his team at Silent Circle, Phil Zimmerman and John Callis. And we've been working on a little project we're calling Darkmail. We thought blackmail kind of gave the wrong connotation.
Hey, have you ever heard this? Maybe it's just rumor, but I always heard that PGP, that they kind of let the feds in the back door a long time ago on that. Is that just a rumor, or?
I don't think so, but I mean, I do think so. I think there was a rumor, but I don't know if they actually got anywhere. I do know this, though. There was a series of events where Zimmerman was under a lot of pressure. This was from years ago. They were hounding him, the government, because apparently PGP worked pretty damn good. That's why it's called pretty good. And then all of a sudden it stopped. So I suspect it's possible that there was a back door, and now they have it. They have the key, so they don't care, and so Zimmerman can do whatever.
And LavaBit, by the way, I know from people who I've been in contact with, wasn't all that secure to start with. But okay, I don't want to get into a debate that I clearly don't have the.
Yeah, no, somebody will beat you on this.
Yeah, no, I'm
finished, but we can see what's going on here.
Yeah, but let's listen to the rest, and it gets worse.
And what we're doing is we're setting up a little nonprofit called the...
See, right here, what he just said right there, what we're doing is we're setting up a little nonprofit. The way he said that really irked me. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Well, listen to it again.
No, I don't.
Okay, listen to it again. It's kind of like, it's either... we are the Mac Daddy. It's like we're just playing it down, just a little nonprofit with all these huge names and privacy and encryption. It was icky the way he said it.
And what we're doing is we're setting up a little nonprofit called the Darkmail Alliance. That would be the group that we're using to maintain and control the intellectual property related to this new protocol.
Now, why do we need to have a new protocol that has a group that controls its intellectual property? It makes little sense to me if you're really talking about something that is open and new.
I think if I had come to you guys 2-3 years ago and said, hey, it's time to toss out all the mail protocols and replace them with ones that integrate security, all of you would have laughed at me. You would have said, you want to throw out how many man-hours of work all for this hypothetical threat that we don't know exists? Well, I think after the summer of Snowden, hopefully you guys have a slightly different attitude about how important security is and how insecure many of the protocols that we use every day.
So here he is, the summer of Snowden, which is the first time I've heard the meme, but I like it. I like it. But he is, I guess what he's proposing now is to throw out decades of work to buy into something that he and these guys are setting up where they control the intellectual property in a little nonprofit? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know what you're up to, dude, but I don't like it. It's not the kind of system you'll have to do a lot of convincing. So while you may get a free pass from some in the tech industry, not here. At least not on this half of the No Agenda show.
Well, my concern with email is not their concern with email. My concern with email is its organizational fall apart. I can't find stuff. We need a new email program that helps us, that's got a database, fundamental database underlying the structure of the inbox, so you can find stuff.
Well, there's a lot of that already. I mean,
yeah, but I've never found one that I liked, or they won't do 50,000 messages, or they talk a big game. You know, if you have 6 messages, you can find one of them, sure. But I haven't seen anything that does the trick.
Well, the iRead Mail package that I installed for my own server actually is storing everything in a SQL database. And so when you do a search, you are actually issuing SQL calls to retrieve.
Is that the one that you got that won't take my clips because there's too many of them?
I've configured it to not allow anything over 15 megabytes. Yes, and sometimes you hit that level. Yes, that's okay.
I don't think I've ever hit that level, but okay.
Yeah, you have a couple times, but so there are. I personally, I'm thinking more and more these days that as I've learned, I have total control of my email situation. I'm kind of enjoying email marketing even, and I really got into it by we started doing our newsletter, but I kind of like getting my spam. It's not spam anymore. The days of click here and you'll get your penis bigger. Those days are kind of over. Now it's like really nice multimedia emails, and there's I know there's all kinds of tracking in there, but there's some actual offers going on. Yeah.
Well, to subscribe to the newsletter.
Well, it's just a thought. I'm kind of big on email, and I don't think that throwing out everything to join the Dark Mail Alliance.
Yeah, no, it's bull crap. Okay. I think everyone can see it's not going to go anywhere anyway.
All right.
I got a couple of things that I wanted to do before a short clip blitz, or do a clip blitz, make it all part of it. But I got a couple War on Men things that I thought you'd be interested in.
Yeah, well, yes, since I'm a man and I feel that we're being hit upon, yes. What do you got?
Well, there's the Girls in Science thing that was on the Teen News, which I'm now monitoring, that I thought was kind of it was a minor War on Men thing, but I thought it was kind of disingenuous in a lot of different ways. It's about how girls should all be scientists, and there's a website you can go to now that will have that girls can feel comfortable.
Oh, so they're not discriminated when they want to be scientists?
Yeah, I guess.
This is great.
Forward to today, there's now a major effort to get more students interested in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. As part of that effort, Nicole reports that there's a new website designed specifically for girls.
The website is called forgirlsinscience.org. Dr. Rita El-Khoury is one of some 3,000 female scientists working for L'Oreal, the sponsor of the website.
What? So why don't more girls go into STEM careers like science and math?
I think part of the reason why a lot of girls aren't going into those fields today is because we don't have enough role models and resources that are encouraging and inspiring the youth to be interested into STEM fields. That's why actually L'Oreal USA has created a community, an online community where girls can go and actually explore, discover, and achieve in the great world of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Shut up already. Science.
This is fantastic, John. I'm looking at this website.
Yeah, did you see the one thing? Beauty and Science from L'Oreal.
L'Oreal and the science of beauty. Are you kidding me? At L'Oreal, we don't just depend on science. We believe in science. It's science that can turn the impossible into the possible, turn a dream into reality, and in turn reinvent our future. But none of this is conceivable without the curiosity and creativity of those behind the science. Scientists themselves. That is why we at L'Oreal have created a community for girls who love science and makeup. Wow.
Yeah, I thought you'd get a kick out of that one.
The
but in a
science
more,
of beauty. Look at
kind
it.
of
Wait, hold on a second. No, stop for a second. So I go to this a page about L'Oreal on this STEM for girls, and there's all their colors. There's the L'Oreal colors of their makeup.
Science.
It's
science.
Science. It's just it's science. I don't care what you say. Wow, that's pretty good, John.
Science.
Damn.
Anyway, I run into. I thought that was good, but then there was this clip. Now I want to play this clip, and I want you to tell me when or where you've heard it before. And this is the clip from Frans van Kat, Redux on the War on Men.
The college has succeeded on two fronts: promote renewable energy in rural communities and challenge the perception of women at the same time. Yet the key behind this operation is not female, but male. We meet Bunker Roy, the social activist behind the NGO. In 2010, he was named among Time magazine's 100 most influential personalities in the world.
Gandhi, who's a bit of an icon here, is known as saying you teach a man, you teach an individual, you teach a woman, you teach an entire family. Is that the idea behind only accepting women, or is it more of a sexist policy?
Men are all compulsively mobile and they all want a certificate. And the moment you give a man a certificate, he leaves the village looking for a job in a city. So why train men at all? We thought the best way to keep the skill in the village, make it useful, is to train women.
This sounds to me, the first thing that came to my mind was It Takes a Village by Hillary Clinton.
This is a clip. I'm surprised you didn't call me out. We played this clip over 2 years ago.
Huh.
This is the guy who's training women to work on circuit boards so they can keep some solar stuff running in their little villages.
I don't.
And he says
this.
we don't bother training men because they just run off. And so I'm seeing this clip played as new on Frans van Kat, as though this is a new story. Even though if you listen to the woman talking, all the references are dated. They're from 2010, 2011. Nothing new. So they've dredged up this story just to stick it to the men again. I think it's part of a scheme. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's
I remember this clip.
It's on. Well, I don't remember it. I just don't remember it. But
yeah, well, but we played it. I can assure you.
No, I believe you.
But it was a long time ago.
Well, we know this is ongoing. We know where it comes from. It comes from Agenda 21. We know it's a very specific initiative. And I'm okay, but, I am going to push back when I feel that it's going too far.
Here's a clip that you'll like. We've been promoting. We've been promoting. Well, I don't know what the word is, but we've been pointing out the overt racism that comes from the left, and anything that there's a hope upon hope that they can trigger a race war. Listen to Bill Maher's interpretation. He's got, by the way, Anthony Weiner on the show, which the guy is in disrepute. He shouldn't even be on anybody's show, but that's fine.
Well, it's entertainment, John. Come on.
He talks exactly. Maher talks about the new mayoral elections, brings up one tweet that one person sent out and generalizes, and the generalization is going to just warm your heart.
All right, let me change the subject a little bit, because there was a big win in New York, your home, for Bill de Blasio. You ran against him. He is an unabashed liberal, and as soon as he won, I noticed that a number of Republicans and conservatives said, the city is screwed now. Jonah Goldberg tweeted, "You morons deserve what you get now," which I assume is code for, the blacks are going to go crazy.
Well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. It's going to be like the 70s all over again with the squeegee guys and the graffiti and the crack babies, and there'll be needles in every Nathan's hot dog. That's.
I remember those days.
How do you jump to this conclusion?
Oh, that's evil.
Unless you're an out-and-out racist.
Yeah.
Now, the best thing that I think took place over the last week, and I wouldn't have even picked up on it, I don't know if you even care. It's a publicity stunt that I don't know if it went astray or if it was, I don't know the point of it. I'm not absolutely sure, but it's definitely a publicity stunt because I have two clips about it. And the only reason I ever even found out about it, since the mainstream media here doesn't seem to care too much about this thing, was from the China news.
Oh, yes. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And so apparently Jimmy Kimmel had this little thing he has called Kids Table, where he asked 4 kids, all from, by the way, there's a white kid, like a Texas redneck kid, a Chinese little girl.
Hey, by the way, that's not stereotyping or generalizing, by the way.
I thought you'd get a kick out of that. And it talks like this. And then, and he's got no teeth. and I think it's a black girl and I don't know. Anyway, it's 4 Spanish or something. I don't remember.
It's a rainbow of children.
It's a rainbow of children. So apparently this particular episode, which has been pulled off the air,
and off YouTube, I might add, it's gone. Everything is gone.
Find it on of all places on the South China News site. That's where I had to get it. So here is the part 1, and then he. This is the Kimmel controversy. Then he does an apology, which I believe was not only disingenuous, part of a publicity stunt, because it was so phony that it's worth listening to. But this got everybody upset. These kids saying they should kill all the Chinese.
Mickey was on Kimmel?
What?
That's Miss Mickey's line.
Oh, no.
America owes China a lot of money, $1.3 trillion. How should we pay them back?
Shoot Canadians all the way over and kill everyone in China.
Kill everyone in China?
Yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting idea. Yes.
Put a huge wall so they can't come to us.
You're saying build a wall in China? A huge, great kind of a wall?
Yeah.
That would never happen.
A huge one.
Allie,
You pay it.
when you owe someone money, should you pay them back?
Never.
Well, then they won't lend you money anymore.
And that's the problem.
Should this country be forced to pay our own debts?
Yes!
Yeah, but you just said kill everyone in China a little while ago. What happened to that? Should we allow the Chinese to live?
Yes! But if we don't allow them to live, then they'll try to kill us. But then they will all be killed. Right, they're going to all be killed. If we kill them, they won't pay us.
Well, this has been an interesting edition of Kids Table, the Lord of the Flies edition. I'd like to thank my correspondents, Braden, Ava, Braxton, Allie. You've been wonderful. Let's take a gummy break.
And before you move on, I want to say that Jimmy Kimmel, when it comes to this kind of stuff, is light years ahead of the competition. He is good at his promotion.
Right.
But he does stuff sometimes weeks in advance of a payoff. I mean, this is a really, really good.
I agree.
I've become a fan. I don't watch his show very often, if at all.
He's got some writers, apparently.
It's good. This is Class A stuff.
But here's what was not evolved from this, was just this phony kind of, I still think is a publicity stunt, was these kids. Does anyone question the bloodthirsty nature of, because when I was a kid, you get a lot of it out of your system by playing Cowboys and Indians, which you can't play anymore, or you're doing
the sitting game. Did you ever play the sitting game?
The what?
The sitting game.
No, I didn't play the sitting game.
Sitting game, yeah. It's like you lose when someone else is sitting on your head.
So you'd get it out of your system, but these kids, I thought this was the murderous little group, and of course everyone got bent out of shape about the kill all the Chinese thing. But how does this even come up in the conversation where they'd say that? So here we go with Kimmel apologizing, and to me, this apology gave it away that this is bull crap.
I do want to apologize to all of you. If I upset you, I'm very, very sorry. We should not have put it on the air. We did not mean to upset you. I thought that everyone would see it as a joke. I feel bad that you didn't take it as a joke. I don't know what you go through personally, but I'm sure there are many challenges. And I just want to say I came out here to talk to you personally.
Is he talking to Chinese? Who's he talking to?
A group of Chinese protesters.
Person to person. And we had a good conversation inside. And I just do want to say, we won't be showing the Kids Table segment anymore. We're not going to ever do that again. And I'm very sorry that I bothered you or upset any of you.
Sorry I bothered you.
That's great.
Bull crap.
Oh, that's fantastic. I like that. Now there was a little bit about it, but
You know, it didn't much play here, which is useless because the Chinese don't watch a show anyway. Why would they even care?
No, but I think the idea, it's just the mainstream can't pick this up as a promotional thing because it really is, they got no time for that. They're too busy with black and white in our own country. We had no time to stir up crap with China right now.
So I sent you a clip of a guy named Mark Windows.
You did?
Yes, a couple days ago. It was
you sent me a Wikipedia page.
No, I sent you. No. There was. I said the next podcasting. It was a podcasting. It was a guy podcasting. He's wearing like a.
Yes, you did. Yeah, it was a YouTube.
Okay, well, that's a lead into what I want to talk about. He is going to be one of that guy who you moaned about.
Yes,
he is going to be one of the lead quote unquote columnists, podcasting columnists on the new David Icke network.
What?
It's called The People's Voice, and you can find it on thepeoplesvoice.tv.
Wait a minute. Is this thing that his daughter's running?
I don't know who's running it, but he's got a crap load of horrible people that are just boring, that are going to be podcasting, and he's got I don't know, he just finished you got $400,000 or $300,000 pounds off of one of those money development sites. I don't know which one. And he's got this thing. It's called The People's Voice, and which is a real problem since there's a million People's Voice websites out there, but he's got his. And you can find the YouTube videos of Mark Windows, that guy, and a bunch of other people on YouTube / the TPV channel, which is what all the People's Voice videos are going toward. And it's rolling out this week. I don't know how he can, if these people ever expect to get a nickel. We have Donna Harris, the Psychic Clinic, Gareth Icke.
He raised 300,000 pounds on Indiegogo.
Yeah. Richie Allen, the Richie Allen Show, Elizabeth Sendra, the People's Health, Vanessa Mitchell, the Psychic Clinic. We have 2 psychic clinics. The Donna Harris and the Vanessa Mitchell, there's a lot of psychic action. Jana Dowling, who's going to have a show, and I think I have a clip of, do I have a clip of this, called WTF.
I don't have this clip. I don't have a W. I have the new podcasting network, One Example. Is that a clip that you...
Yeah. Now, this one actually bothers me, because she has cloned, as you listen to this clip until you can't take it anymore, she has cloned the Generation X3 show that I used to do.
Oh, I wonder where this was going. Okay. All right. Yes.
Listen to what this is. I don't know if anyone's going to tune in with this woman.
I'm really passionate about doing this show because
I love the audio already off the bat. I'm drawn in. It's so intimate. It sounds fantastic.
Because I think every single person has to have a voice and has to be heard. And everyone's opinion is important, no matter who you are or where you're from. And I don't think that there are very many shows out there that represent that age group from 16 to 24, where they can be heard in a sort of uncensored way, where they're not necessarily being directed specifically to talk about anything in particular. It's about finding out what young adults of today think about everything. Every week we're going to get a group of guests into the studio, and we're not really going to have a specific agenda every time. We're just going to find out what they think about the world. It could be anything. It could be, I don't know, what's happened in social media. It could be about celebrity, it could be about social media, but then it also could be about global politics or community politics. Well, I think it's really exciting specifically to talk to people between the ages of 16 to 24, because I don't necessarily think they get much of a voice, and I think it's also
for good reason.
You are absorbing a lot of information and you're learning a lot, and you're also being fed a lot of information. So it's a really exciting chance to talk to people and give them a platform to actually let us know what they're thinking.
Okay, I need to respond to this. So this is a bad idea, and I'll tell you why. If it is not apparent to anyone, there is no necessity for a network of anything anymore. Every individual who has a creative idea or wants to communicate something, the tools are there for you to do this. It used to be you had to join a network because the network had the access. The network had the radio transmitter, the television transmitter, the cable channel, the newspaper printer, etc. This is simply no longer necessary. In fact, it is a detriment and a detractor from your mission. If you have something to say, like this show, go and do it. Then and find a way to sustain yourself. Networks will take away all your money. It is completely against the network way, the true interconnected network way of communicating. Anyone who thinks they need to, it is a money scam, and they're going to take away money. No one will make anything. There'll be nothing but tears will come from this. It never works out this way, ever.
Amen.
Yes. All right.
I agree with that. And then my final of the clips of the Blitz.
Yeah, and then I have one Blitz clip thing.
Is... didn't realize it, but High School USA goes on. So I have another High School USA clip with the girl who is pregnant and has to decide. It's a whole episode on choice, on women's choice. And this is the depths that we get to experience with the interpretation of what's going on with a high school girl who's pregnant.
Dip the stick in the fresh urine and then pray that you're not a single teenage mom. Oh no. Mom, I have something really important to tell you.
Me too. I just did my nails. Blue, what do you think?
I love it. I'm going to do mine right now.
Perf.
Oh, wait, there was something else I had to tell you, but I can't remember what.
If it's important, you'll remember.
Oh, yeah, I'm pregnant.
Oh my God, you slut! You didn't tell me you lost your virginity. So is the guy cute or what?
That's the weirdest part. I don't even remember having sex.
Oh, don't worry. You'll get used to not remembering sex.
Really?
Oh, yeah, totally. I can't believe we're going to have a new best friend in the house. I'm going to go buy her a mini purse right now.
But we don't even know if it's a girl.
Oh, my God, you're right. It could be a boy. Could you imagine a boy carrying a mini purse? So gay. And I always wanted a gay best friend. This is so cool. A glitter boy. I'm dying.
But what if I don't want to keep it?
No way. You can't get rid of my new gay grandson.
But isn't this my decision?
Amber, ditching our third generation bestie is not an option. This is kind of one of those times you don't have a choice.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I take back everything I said about being hopeful about the universe and the way things are going. This is...
Woo!
That's perf. So perf. I'm going to use that. Perf.
This is on Fox.
Yeah. This is not good. It's not funny.
No.
It's just...
Well, it is funny.
No, it's not. You know what's funny? Here's what's funny. When you have Chuck Schumer, who is... I've met, so I think I'm allowed to say is a dickhead.
He seems like a dick.
Yeah. He's come up with a genius idea, and I guess he's getting paid from some industry to promote this, for your autistic kid. Now, if you have an autistic kid, John, which you don't, but if you did, what would be the next best thing to putting the kid on a leash?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I have an autistic kid, and I don't know what the process are. I know there's a lot of things like they teach them to ride horses, and that seems to help their outlook.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Good. Yeah, that's good.
There's a bunch of things you can do.
Here's what you need to do.
It has been a month since Avante Oquendo ran away from his Long Island City school. The entire city has joined in the search for the teen. Well, today...
Let me guess.
Yeah?
They're going to chip him.
That's the next step. Baby steps, John. Baby steps.
Schumer introduced an idea that may prevent something like this from happening again. The senator is asking for the Department of Justice to fund a plan that would give parents GPS devices for youth who are at high risk of running away.
Now, I just want to point the obvious out. Yeah, but he's asking Department of Justice to fund a program for kids who run away. This is Department of Justice.
Devices can be worn on the wrist, the belt, buckle, or shoes.
Or implanted under the skin.
And would be helpful to officials who are searching for runaway children.
Now listen to Schumer with his another percentage gag.
According to Project Lifesaver, a program which advocates for the use of tracking technology in the case of wandering, the use of these devices reduces the amount of time to locate a child by 95%. That's amazing.
That's amazing. 95% chance of finding your kid who ran away from home. Thank you, Chuck Schumer, for chipping my kid. And that, people, is the state of the world. You may now go back and resume normal activity of watching Miss Universe. So what's coming up this week, John?
Death and dismay and mayhem.
Okay, well, we're on the lookout.
Phony stories. And
yeah.
We don't have anything on the 6-week cycle, so it's going to be kind of hard to say.
But we're
It'll
looking
probably have something to do with Kerry or the Iranians.
Yeah, I think Clooney may start to weasel in. He may start setting us up for the Sudan genocide. He's already doing the op-eds.
Yeah, he's got to get back down there.
And more anti-Russia propaganda, I think, because we're getting closer to the Olympics. So,
right, I think, but the Olympic Committee is going to probably tell us to stop it. Or else.
I hope so. I'd be ready for it. All right, mofos, thank you so much for supporting us. And we will be back on Thursday, coming to you from FEMA Region 6 in the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I finally found a pen that writes, I'm John C. Dvorak.
Talk to you again on Thursday, right here on No Agenda.
Adios, mofo.
The best podcast in the universe. Dvorak.org/NA.